And yes, it's Texas A&M and Wyoming getting ready to kick off here as the Aggies go for their second win of the season. Their head coach, R.C. Slocum, standing by with the third member of our team, Rob Stone. Rob?
Well, Coach, as you get set for your 150th game as head coach here at A&M, your squad coming in off a mediocre performance, taking on a team you're heavily favored against. What is the payoff of this game for your club?
Well, we've got a very challenging road schedule this year. We thought coming up here with a short week is certainly a test for us. We played last Saturday night. We've had a short week's preparation, and I think this is a good challenge to come up here on the road with a short preparation time trying to win a football game.
I know you're not happy with your running back by committee approach. How are you going to rectify that tonight?
We're going to start Richard Whitaker. He was our starter going into the season. He was injured. Wasn't well last week. We'll start him and see how it goes tonight.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Good luck. Thank you.
R.C. Slocum heading up Texas A&M. Vic Koenig is the head coach of Wyoming. A tough first year, just 1-10, but they did have the season opening win here in Wyoming against Furman last week. Wyoming won the toss but deferred, so Texas A&M will receive Wyoming in their home Browns. Jarvis Wallum going to kick off for them, and Texas A&M in their away whites with the red helmets. Sammy Davis is back along with DeJuan Gentry for A&M.
And one of the concerns for head coach of Wyoming, Vic Koenig, with the kickoffs. They were short last week. Some were out of bounds. They were line drive. They concentrated a lot during the work week to work on their kicking game.
And Wallum gets a deep kick, just as you say that, Mark, as it will be a touchback. Mark Ferris and company will take over from the 20. A lot of leg there for Wallum. Mark Ferris is the quarterback, 26-year-old. He gutted it out last week with the touchdowns and also the touchdown run. He's 26 years old, played 5 years of minor league baseball in the Steelers organization. This is his second year quarterbacking A&M.
He's not afraid to put the ball up, Pam. Out of his 13 starts, 4 times, put it up 40 times or more.
This Pirates organization, obviously, is what he played for, not the Steelers. And he's going right out of the shotgun. Ferris looking underneath for Kelly, and make that Michael De La Torre, his tight end. And he is up close, just short of the first down. Let's take a look at that offensive line for Texas A&M. They have a very good center in Seth McKinney, an All-American player who earned his bachelor's degree in just 3.5 years.
Smart offensive lineman, of course.
Oh, well, that goes without saying. Wyoming, a rather undersized defensive line. Chad Bueller uses leverage and leg strength to play heavier than his 257 pounds. It was a 9-yard gain to De La Torre, so 2nd and 1 for the Aggies. Play action, Ferris looking deep, and he overthrows his man, Bethel Johnson, who was well covered by Eric Lee.
An outstanding job by Eric Lee. One-on-one, not going for the fake.
So Eric Lee does his job. The Wyoming linebackers first, led by Leo Kairos, who was hurt early last season, granted a medical red shirt, coming back to play his senior year. The same for Al Rich, who is sort of the general of the secondary. He also was one of many Cowboys hurt early, and we'll get into that later on in the show as Kairos was able to come back. This team was decimated by injuries last year. 3rd and 1 now for the Aggies. We have everybody in the backfield, and they give it to Keith Joseph, and he is stopped just short of the 30. He appears to be short of the first down.
Man, this is where I disagree as the next player with coaches. When it's 3rd and short and you got to have it, why go laterally? You don't bounce it to the outside, you go straight ahead. You pick up the first down. You're bigger, stronger on the offensive line at Texas A&M. They average over 300 pounds per man on their offensive line against a very small defensive front of the Wyoming Cowboys.
Yeah, they outweigh them by a ton as Vic Koenig's team gets a very big stop. They're about 1 inch or 2 short of the first down, so Cody Skates comes out to punt. He punted 8 times last week against McNeese. And that one appeared to be off the side of his foot. It's fielded by Ryan McGuffey, and he will take it up to around the 43-yard line. That is where Wyoming will take over for the first time. And we talked about the sophomore wide receiver, Ryan McGuffey, for Wyoming. They also have a sophomore quarterback that they're very excited about in Laramie. Casey Bramlett. He is a Wyoming native, a great leader, only a sophomore, threw for 331 yards in his first collegiate start last week against Furman. And you take a look at his backs and receivers. McGuffey, the first sophomore ever to be voted a captain at Wyoming, 134 yards on 10 catches last week against Furman. And right away they go to the air. Bramlett looks and finds his man, Scotty Vines. And the ball is down. Wyoming is going to have a first down, a 19-yard gain. Bramlett hooking up with Vines. The offensive line, a line that has been sort of patchwork because of a variety of injuries. 6'7", 315-pound Adam Goldberg is back after missing the season opener. And R.C. Slocum calls Rocky Bernard his best defensive player. He missed all of last year with a knee injury for A&M.
And for Wyoming, they want to get a rhythm set. They want to go fast. They want to take the offense right to the Texas A&M defense and put pressure on them from the word go.
And that is the stack that they use. 3 receivers lined up behind each other. McGuffey gets it, and he goes for another first down. A 14-yard gain for McGuffey, and Mark, this offense is clicking early.
They are. They want it to be rhythmic. They want to go on their own snap counts. Out here, it's the trips. They've got the wide receiver stacked out there. What happens? You throw the ball to the left to Ryan McGuffey. You get blockers down the field to play. Your wide receivers, look at the big lineman going down the field to play. Drew, the tight end. That's what this offense has. This offense relies on each other. They're not very big, not very physical, but what they have is cohesiveness in every position they play as a unit.
And they have talked about that, about how close this team is, which is a stark contrast to last year when things fell apart during a 1-10 season. 1st and 10, handoff to Derek Armah, and he is stacked up. Maybe a 1-yard gain for him. Let's take a look now at the Texas A&M linebackers. Brian Gamble led A&M in tackles last year and is back with some rather inexperienced outside linebackers. And in the backfield, how about big play Jay Brooks, stand out on special teams and a big hitter at free safety. Sammy Davis, probably their best cover guy at the corner position. 2nd and 9 now for the Cowboys. And the fans are cheering on the far side. A little more play action. Bramlett looks into the end zone and then throws it away. As Brooks, looks like Brooks is going to be penalized for running into Brock Ralph.
It was an outstanding job by quarterback Casey Bramlett just to get that ball away. At the end of the play, he was nailed by Evan Peroni. Pressure at the end of the play, but he got the ball off. And as you saw at the end of the play, there was a penalty on the play. One thing about Wyoming, this team is not afraid to put the ball in the air.
And that is something that Texas A&M certainly expected as Vic Koenig is getting everything straightened out. And as expected, you get the personal foul on Jay Brooks on a ball that was almost thrown into the bleachers.
And that's a ridiculous penalty on Jay Brooks. He's experienced, he's a senior, he knows better, but here's the hit by Evan Peroni on quarterback Casey Bramlett at the end of the play. But a big, strong quarterback in Bramlett at 6'4", 207 pounds gets the ball off.
We were talking to some of the A&M guys yesterday, and they said they have a lot of things designed to get to the quarterback. They were able to get to Bramlett, but that's a 12-yard penalty that takes Wyoming all the way down to the 12, where they have it 1st and 10.
And this offense, they want it fast-paced. They don't want Texas A&M to get in a rhythm on defense. They want to attack, 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 and keep them on their heels.
So Bramlett, who has 4 receivers in, again out of the shotgun at 1st and 10. Got McGuffey over the middle. He tries to get it to him, and a flag is thrown. Brian Gamble with the coverage that was a little bit too close. Looks like he tried to force that ball into McGuffey, and Gamble might have helped him out a little bit.
He's got a strong arm. They say he's got a rocket launcher as an arm in quarterback Casey Bramlett. A lot of times he tries to force things. He's just a young quarterback, a sophomore in his 2nd start of his career. But that was a smart pass. He threw it in there where only his receiver could get it, or it would be a penalty. And Brian Gamble goes over the back, and it's a penalty. Here it is. Nice protection by the O-line. Here's the pass. Tight coverage. He's got his right arm wrapped around the receiver, and his left arm just comes around and knocks the ball away of Ryan McGuffey.
So the last 20 yards gained by Wyoming have come via penalties. You get a good look at McGuffey, who is from up the road in Riverton, Wyoming. And now a 1st and goal. 4 receivers in for the boys.
When we spoke with Ryan McGuffey yesterday, very quiet. There's the stack again on the outside. He wouldn't say 2 words if he had a mouthful.
He just does it on the field. Bramlett gives it to Nate Scott, and he is in for the touchdown. An impressive drive for Wyoming to start off this football game, helped along by some penalties, and Scott takes it into the end zone. His first touchdown of this season, 6th of his career, and Wallem is in to try the extra point. Casey Wallem, the Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Week last week, gets the extra point, and Wyoming, after a big defensive stop, gets the football, charges down the field, and the Wyoming Cowboys, 1-10 last year, off to a terrific start as Nate Scott takes it the rest of the way. Wyoming is up a touchdown. How about the...
Question about DirecTV?
Yeah, I hear this thing hits like an insane amount of sports channels.
What's up?
You're absolutely right, sir. With DirecTV, you and your family can enjoy wonderful educational channels together.
I'll let you guys talk.
Here's the pitch.
We know how you feel about DirecTV, and that's why you'll get DirecTV installed in 2 rooms with 2 receivers for just $49.99 after mail-in rebate. Circuit City, we're with you.
You ready for a cold one?
Yeah.
Is that cold enough for you?
It's cold. It's not Coors Light.
Brewed at the edge of freezing to lock in that Rocky Mountain cold taste. Coors Light.
Pull my claw.
The raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red.
The Sonata from Hyundai, with the freedom of America's best warranty plan, 10 years, without a care in the world.
Nothing's worrying.
For a limited time, get the Sonata with automatic transmission at no extra charge.
Jesse, come on, let's join the downhill racers.
I heard that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jesse, come on, breakfast is getting cold.
We have your daughter.
Daddy.
You have a patient. She has a 6-digit number in her head. I need that number. You need your daughter back. Michael Douglas.
Is it a telephone number?
Nope.
Is it a place?
Nope.
And they're gonna kill her. What is it? No!
Don't say a word.
I'll never tell.
Rated R. September 28th, only in theaters.
ESPN2 College Football Thursday Night is presented by Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City. We're with you. And in part by the new ESPN News, coming September 7th.
And the sun has set here since this shot was taken in Laramie. Beautiful state of Wyoming, and a beautiful start for the Cowboys, up 7-0 as Wallem gets his 2nd straight touchback. The Cowboys upsetting the Texas A&M Aggies early. Let's go to Chris for more on Indiana and NC State. Chris?
Yeah, and Pam, the start anything but beautiful for the Hoosiers. Here's Phillip Rivers, touchdown pass number 3, 15 yards to Willie Wright. Indiana officially being taken behind the woodshed, 35-zip midway 4th.
Boy, thank you, Chris. And that is not exactly what Cam Cameron, I'm sure, was hoping for in that football game with Antoine Randall, now the slash guy for them. Texas A&M starting its 2nd straight drive from the 20. They went 3 and out the first time, and a great catch there as Bethel Johnson corrals in the pass. Lamar James there to push him out of bounds. Bethel Johnson, one of several receivers that you will be seeing this evening for A&M. Mark Ferris has a lot of guys that he can go to. Completed passes to 8 different receivers last week. Only a 3-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 7. On the ground, they go to Richard Whitaker. Whitaker gets a huge hole up the right side and plows his way forward for the first down. Al Rich coming up with the stop, and let's take a look at that Wyoming touchdown.
Well, Wyoming does it. They got the stack outside. They spread them out here. They're going to take the left, the right tackle, Bullard, and pull them. A little misdirection with the back, and there it goes. They clear it out. Nice job of blocking by the left side, of widening out the hole, blocking down with a guard in center, and he just left a nice path for running back Nate Scott just to take it right in the end zone and score.
And with that score, Wyoming goes up 7-0. They were up 3-0 in last year's game down at College Station and ended up losing 51-3. Whitaker, after a 7-yard gain, gets next to nothing as he goes over the right side. Jason Jones making the stop from his middle linebacker position.
Pam, defensive coordinator for Wyoming, Matt Wallerstadt, told us that he just wants every player to take it one play at a time and hustle to the play. That's what he's getting right now. Football is a game of emotion, and right now Wyoming has the emotion. They want to go out and put pressure on this Texas A&M offense because they were embarrassed. They thought they were thoroughly embarrassed last year at the end of the game. Well, Texas A&M kind of ran the score up where they really didn't have to when the game was out of reach.
And the players have been talking about that, and they want to be aggressive, use a lot of different looks. As coming around the end for A&M is Jamar Taylor, the wide receiver, and there's 4 or 5 brown shirts to greet him. There's aggression for you. Brandon Cassavan among those coming up to make the stop on Taylor, one of those receivers for A&M.
And Brandon Cassavan's really a backup. What they're doing for Wyoming on the defensive side of the ball, they've got backups in here. Here's the misdirection play to the right, goes to the left. They follow the ball. Look at all the brown jerseys around the ball. That's gang tackling led by Brandon Cassavan. And what Wyoming wants to do is keep their players fresh on defense, rotate them. They don't want their entire second defense in there, but they're taking it position by position, rotating players in and out.
That's something Matt Wallerstadt talked about, to keep his guys fresh, as he said, and trying to put the pressure on. 3rd down now, Ferris over the middle, and he gets his guy, Greg Porter, who gets a big gain as he is dragged down around the 45-yard line of Wyoming before Jacques Finn catches up to him. That's a 20-yard gain.
Wonderful protection by the offensive line of Texas A&M. That's where it starts. This is what makes it work. But I want you to watch the left of your screen. Here's the ball. It's dumped off right out in front. Watch the block right there by Jamar Taylor. That's what you've got to have down the field to play. Keep an eye on number 82. Look at it. He doesn't get the ball. He turns back, finds an off-color jersey. Bam! Right there. Sets up his back, takes the ball, gets extra yardage. That's what you do. Wide receivers block for wide receivers. They block for running backs. They take care of one another out there.
Just like you guys used to do on the offensive line.
Absolutely.
That was Tim Glenn, by the way, who got pasted by Taylor. First down run around the left side as Whitaker gets a couple. Jacques Finn coming up to make that stop, calling it a 4-yard gain.
Left tackle Michael Mahan had an excellent block, caving down the entire right side of the Wyoming defense. Keep an eye on big number 76 right here. He's just going to smush him down there, just knock him down, pin him ground, take 2 if you want, and he does. Good blocking by the tight end on that side, Delatorre. Nice execution on the offensive line. That's what you've got to have on the line. Good relationships. You got to have marriages, guard and tackle, center guard, tackle tight end. You got to get along out there.
And you see the numbers on Mahan. He is a big one at 6'6", 293. Ferris forced to take a timeout as he will come over and discuss things with R.C. Slocum. A&M starting to move the football, but they're still down by a touchdown to the Cowboys. Texas A&M down by 7. 7th play of this drive coming up. We talked a little bit about Michael Mahan, and we will have more on his incredible story in just a moment. But first, Mark Ferris, after taking a timeout, with play action, looks to his right where he has his tight end, Michael Delatorre, wide open, and he will go down to the 30 for yet another first down. And now for more on Mahan, let's go down to Rob Stone.
Well, Pam, Mahan gives new meaning to the term, you got to have heart. Last season, he had not 1, but 2 heart surgeries to correct a condition he had right now. He temporarily quit the team, then came back. During spring drills, he excelled in 2-a-days in the Texas heat, had no problems. He is physically back up. R.C. Slocum told us yesterday that in the heat last Saturday, he lost 9 pounds, didn't miss an offensive play. I'd say he's back.
Not only that, Rob, he played 81 snaps. All the other players were on IVs. He's the biggest, heaviest player out there. He just ran back to the sidelines like it was nothing.
All right, Seth McKinney among those who was having trouble with cramps as a whistle and flags are down, which preceded the run by Richard Whitaker. It was very hot down in College Station in a game in which Texas A&M really struggled. They were down 16-0 in that game before coming back to win it. As we get the call.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Must have been an offensive lineman.
No. See, that's the easiest out for a play-by-play person to an analyst saying it was the offensive line. Well, I'm going to tell you, if we can get another look at this, I think it was the tight end.
All right.
I don't think it was the offensive line. I'm going with the tight end.
All right, in college they don't tell us specifically, but we can just assume that.
That's why I love college ball. In the NFL, it was always a number. It was always 70-something, and they got close to 3. I'd say 4. It wasn't 73. It was 4.
And there you see the McNeese State numbers from last week. A&M not playing their best football, but still enough to beat the 1AA team. Ferris to the air again, and he misfires, trying for Terrence Thomas, one of the talented freshman receivers for the Aggies.
There's pressure on that play also. We're going to take a look at the quarterback again. There's pressure by Tyler Gottschalk on the play. He's a linebacker. He blitzed. And, this is a defense. They want to be aggressive. They're coming at every angle. There's 47 right there. Gottschalk going to the quarterback, putting pressure on Mark Ferris. That's what the defense of Wyoming wants to do. They want to get someone in his face, the quarterback of Texas A&M, Mark Ferris, every time he throws the ball. They want to hit him. They want to knock him down. They want to put pressure on him.
4 receivers now in at 2nd and 15, and that time I saw an offensive lineman come up, Andre Brooks.
The luck of the draw.
On the right side. Wyoming looked like they were coming, but Brooks came up early out of his stance.
And that's one of those things with Andre Brooks, young player, sophomore, had some problems last week.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still.
And let's take a look at Big Andre. Had some problems last week, gave up a major sack on quarterback Mark Ferris, where he threw an interception. There's a big fella right there. He's going to move just a tad early. That's one thing you have to do is you've got to concentrate on the road. You have to listen to your quarterback. You have to turn a deaf ear to the crowd and turn your good ear to the quarterback. And you know the snap count, so you should never be offside.
And Taylor Whitley also came up early, the right guard. Texas A&M already with 30 yards and penalties. Now 2nd and 20. 4 receivers again in for Mark Ferris. Team going backwards. And another little funky play on the line. Whitley again on the right side came up, and you see a little bit of frustration. Looked like Billy Yates was kind of yelling back to his quarterback.
And, Pam, that's what I talked about marriages before. With that marriage on the right side, they're not cooperating as they are on the left side. And 2 plays in a row.
Yeah. Snap infraction, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
And we'll take a look at the right side. And both of these players, Tyler Whitley and Andre Brooks, they're going to have to get together and get sync over here. You can't move before the ball snapped, and they do, and that's plays back-to-back where you just kill your offense right now. Now the momentum's on it. There's the rock right there. He rocked back in the stance. The momentum's now with Wyoming. The momentum was at Texas A&M. They were moving the ball down the field to play, getting first downs. Now all of a sudden the tide is turned.
And actually, that was back-to-back-to-back. 3 straight procedure penalties. Now 2nd and 25 from the 45. A little shovel pass, and that did not work. Richard Whitaker just was slammed down by Brandon Casaban. This Wyoming crowd is getting into it, Mark.
And Brandon Casaban was all over this play. This is excitement. This is emotion. This is what you have to have on defense. You read the play. Texas A&M is just trying to get something going. Brandon Casaban does an outstanding job of reading the play. And he's got to come in here right there. Wham! Look at that shot. Both Casaban on one side and on the other side, John Amoni, they were reading the play. Nice pressure by the Wyoming County.
And keeping those D linemen fresh, apparently paying off now. 3rd down and a ton. Throw it short underneath the quarter, and he is going to be well short of the first down. John Imoni, the junior from Mountain View, Wyoming, coming up to make the stop.
Man, this is smart defense. It's 3rd and a bunch. So what you want to do is you want to give the opposing quarterback, if you're on defense, a read where he can drop the ball to a wide open receiver where it looks like he can pick up yardage, but it's not enough yardage for the first down. Smart defense by the defenders and by defensive coordinator Matt Wallerstedt.
So Cody Skates in again to punt 4th and 24. He had a 40-yard punt the first time. Ryan McGuffey with the 11-yard return. Hangs that one up nicely, so McGuffey fair catches it. on his 16-yard line, and that is where the Cowboys will take over after a 27-yard punt that had an effective ending. ESPN has college football Friday night, featuring two Heisman hopefuls tomorrow, quarterback Jason Thomas of UNLV and a very exciting running back of Northwestern and Damian Anderson. They're the 20th ranked team. First game of the year for Northwestern. Catch it tomorrow on ESPN at 8 Eastern time. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. And Damian Anderson had himself a season last year for the Wildcats.
Anytime you rush for over 2,000 yards, that's a huge season. Those are Heisman numbers, and he's one of the returning candidates for the Heisman Trophy this year. And what I like about it is the 23 TDs. That's huge. That tells you you're not just getting the big runs on the outside, but you're also powering into the end zone when you have to have it.
He had a lot of those against Michigan in that terrific game that they played. Bramlett sidestepping away from pressure and throws it away. He had a couple of guys, including McGuffey, on the 30-yard line, but a lot of pressure led.
What the A&M defense wants to do is take away Casey Bramlett's first read. Al Rich, one of their biggest players and leaders, they call him the general on the defense, is getting looked at his knees. Looks like he's got a knee injury on the sidelines.
So Al Rich, one of those guys who was injured early last year and got the medical red shirt, and he is being looked at. Team hurt by injuries last year. 4 receivers in now for Bramlett on 2nd and 10. And he takes off, waits just a little bit, but skips the pass as he was trying to find Brock Ralph. And now they're going to say it's a reception. Boy, all the A&M guys obviously saying it was incomplete. Looks like he might have skipped it from up here, but they're calling that a 12-yard catch.
Hey, it all starts with the guys up front, the guys that you've been getting on, the offensive line. Look at their protection.
Yeah.
Casey Bramlett can look downfield, look at his 2nd and 3rd receiver. Here's the throw from that angle. You can't tell. It's the catch. They're calling it a catch, but it's a nice job by the offensive line and quarterback Casey Bramlett to find the wide-open receiver and get him in front.
Good job by Brock Ralph there to kind of improvise a little bit. Ralph is a junior from Canada, Raymond, Alberta. 4 receivers in again. And they're going to give it up the middle to Arma, who breaks free. Jay Brooks coming up to make the stop from the free safety position. That is another first down. Call it an 11-yard gain. And there is Al Rich getting that left knee worked on. And the injuries, this is just from the A&M game, Mark.
2 quarterbacks got knocked out. Starting both quarterbacks, your running back, you lose your offensive lineman, you lose your starting linebacker. That's just too many injuries to sustain in one game, but this is a team that felt last year they ran the score up on them. Even when they were injured and they were banged up, and a lot of these players came back this year, and they're using it as a motivating tool. Not just the score last year, but also the injuries saying, hey, we can play with Texas A&M.
And ended up using some scout teamers in that as Brock Ralph unable to gather in that Bramlett pass. It was a 51-3 ball game at College Station. Wyoming led 3-0, down 7-3 after 1. It was 21-3 at the half, and then the wheels really came off the cart for Vic Koning's team. They ended up losing. It was a big 93-yard pass as Robert Ferguson, now with an NFL team, broke free for the 2nd largest touchdown catch in the history of A&M, and it became a 51-3 rout.
There's your stack on the outside, 3 receivers.
2nd and 10 for Bramlett. And the Cowboys as he steps away. Remember, Bramlett, again, only a sophomore. His first start came last week against Furman. He is looking left, and a bullet pass that is tipped and picked off by Texas A&M's Jante Buell. In there to get the interception, Mark. He really forced that one in there.
He did, and he had pressure by Ty Warren, the nose tackle for Texas A&M. Here's the situation for Casey Bramlett. He tried to force this ball right in the pit right here. Ty Warren goes by the center. Mike Irvin just slaps by him, a nice swim room, gets to the quarterback, dumps the quarterback, but Casey Bramlett tried to force this ball. Warren goes by 2, throws it in there into a sack of players. The ball's tipped. The worst thing that can happen for the offense is the ball to be tipped in the air, because there's more defenders around the ball defensively than there are wide receivers down the field of play.
He's trying to get it to Malcolm Floyd, who is 6'6" and has a huge vertical lead. Bramlett's 2nd interception of the season, and just short of midfield, A&M takes over. Ferris gives it to Whitaker, and he is corralled around the neck as he is tackled after a short gain. Let's go down to Rob Stone, who has the latest on Al Rich's injury. Rob?
Yeah, Al will not be out for the series. In fact, Al will not be out on the field for at least the first half. Doctors really spent a lot of time looking at his right knee, testing everything. Everything is intact, they're telling me right now, but it is a right knee sprain they're going to reevaluate in the locker room.
All right, thanks, Rob. Looked like they were looking at his left knee earlier, but obviously it is the right knee as they ice it up. And that is a big loss for them.
It is, Ken. And usually what happens, if you hurt one knee, they want to test the other knee to see if the ligament strength is there. If one knee's loose or the injured knee's loose, a little more loose than the other, then they know you've got an injury.
All right, so they use it just as a test as Ferris gets the pass complete to Bethel Johnson. And Johnson will pick up a first down for A&M. He is stopped by Leo Kairos.
For the Wyoming defense, they want to blitz at every angle. Here in the middle, they're going TT, Mac blitzes TT, which means tackle goes in, the other tackle goes out. On the outside, you've got a receiver isolation out here where Bethel is on the outside. Johnson just turns and catches the ball because what happens is the defense sinks in because of the blitz on the inside. Bethel Johnson is wide open on the outside, so it's an easy pitch and catch and an easy read for quarterback Mark Ferris.
Johnson, a senior out of Corsicana, Texas, picks up the first down, an 11-yard gain. First and 10, Ferris looking all the way, and the pass is dropped. Dropped by Mickey Jones. Boy, he had him out there, and that's one that will go as an incompletion, but Jones just couldn't bring it in.
The problem with Jones, he tries to run with this ball before he catches it. Right there, look, he looks at the ball and turns, and the ball is right in his hands, and he gets nailed at the end of the play by Jock Vin, but you have to catch it before you run with it. A lot of receivers try to make that quick move and turnaround, look the ball into the fingertips, squeeze it, then make your move.
Boy, Finn came in and just leveled him after that, and Jones will head back to the sidelines. Second and 10 inside 4 minutes here in the first quarter in Laramie. Whitaker goes over the right side. Big hole. Mahan opening up a little bit of a hole, and a gain there before Kairos comes up for his 4th tackle of the night. About a 5-yard gain for Whitaker.
What Texas A&M is doing is they're trying to put a hat on the hat on the defenders of the Wyoming Cowboys. What Wyoming's trying to do is they're trying to confuse the offensive line. They're coming up in 3 down, 4 down lineman sets. They're blitzing, they're stunning on the outside. What Texas A&M is doing is they're firing off the ball and getting the push and letting the running back make the decision where they're going to cut.
That's a lot of imbalance, 30 pounds on average. They are outweighed. And again, they talk about some of the guys like Chad Bueller. Bueller squats 650 pounds, and they talk about his great leverage that helps him out. Ferris finds Whitaker over on the right side, and he will bowl his way forward for the first down. Herman White with the stop.
And this is a nice play. It's a nice read to get the ball to Whitaker. But what's smart about this, Mark Ferris, he reads the blitz. No one picks up Whitaker in the flat. It's just dumped off right here. Tyler Gottschalk comes in on the blitz. No one picks him up. Let him go right in on the blitz. Let's dump the ball to the outside. Get a couple of the big uglies out front and block. That's what they do. You pick up the first down. Great job of execution by the offense. Picking up the positive yardage and pushing the ball down the field to play.
And there was a late flag on the play over by the tackle. As
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, hands to the face, half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Well, that is exactly what you don't want for Wyoming. They've been keeping their heads about them. That's a 13-yard penalty now. Personal foul takes it down to the 13, where A&M will have it.
And just a simple penalty at the end of a play like that can crush your emotion. It can take the momentum away from one side of the ball and give it to the other side of the ball. And players have to play smart. It's great to play aggressive, but you have to play smart.
But instead, A&M now first and 10 from the 13. Ferris gives it to Whitaker. A lot of open space. He cuts it to the outside and is mowed down. He will go down around the 7-yard line, picking up 6. He is cut down by Pete Merrill.
Man, this is what I like about Texas A&M. Watch the blockers out here, a hat on a hat. Now, when you get to the outside, keep an eye on 82. Again, Jamar Taylor gets a block. You're going to see it come up right there. I love it when wide receivers are down the field blocking for the running game. That's where you pick up your big yardage. When they get the safeties, when they get the cornerbacks and put them on the ground, that's where you pick up your huge chunks of yardage in the running game.
Taylor, a sophomore, 6'1", 203, has already had a couple of key blocks tonight. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4 now. As you see the play clock winding down. Ferris gets it off in time. Pitch it back to Whitaker. And he has a lot of real estate. Whitaker close to the goal line, but he is stopped just short. Whitaker is a guy who led this team in rushing last year with only 455 yards, as De La Torre, the tight end, is shaken up a little bit. They're already a little bit light or thin at the tight end position because Lonnie Madison's out for the year with a knee injury.
Keep an eye at the end of the play. He gets his leg rolled up right there. Number 24, Richard Whitaker falls on it. Here's the key. When you're around a pile, you move your feet. You don't stop and look. Watch his right leg right there, right there. Gets hyperextended on the inside. That's medial collateral damage. I've had it before. You don't stop your feet by the pile. You hit somebody, you pick them off the pile, but you don't stand there and watch.
So De La Torre going to sit down and get that knee looked at. Meanwhile, trying to bowl into the end zone is Joe Weber, the fullback, and he is in for the touchdown. Just scooched it over, and A&M has scored.
Now, Pam, that's just physical man style. That's not being denied in the goal line. Offensive line gets a great surge on the right side. Tyler Wheatley, the right guard. Andre Brooks, the right tackle. But it's the fullback, Joe Weber. Keep an eye on the big guy. He keeps his feet moving. Good block on the outside. Gets a good lead block. But here, he stood up. He's not supposed to get into the goal line. But he keeps his feet moving, breaks the plane, and gets into the end zone.
So Joe Weber scores his second touchdown of the season. The extra point is good. And Texas A&M has tied up the football game. Wyoming out to the quick start. A&M coming back. We're tied in Laramie.
Sunday mornings at 10:30.
Texas A&M has tied up this game in Laramie. Town founded back in 1868. Texas A&M scoring on a Joe Weber 1-yard touchdown run. A 51-yard scoring drive to tie the game up. Skate's kickoff goes into the end zone where it is fielded and run out by Scotty Vines, and he breaks free and finally is taken down at the 25. So Vines showing some of that speed. Wyoming has the football. Tomorrow on ESPN, golf coming your way at 2 Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific. It's the Bell Canadian Open. Tiger Woods won the Open on the 72nd hole last year with one of the great shots of the year. Coverage continues throughout the weekend on ESPN. For more PGA information, you can always log on to ESPN.com.
And Pam, Tiger hit him like I hit him. 200 yards over water, 6-iron, bang, right on the green, right next to the pin. That's how I play golf. That's me. I played the wrong game. I should be in the golf.
You can't even expect anyone to believe that. First down as Brandon hands it off to Scott, and he is taken down by Brian Gamble, who led this team in tackles last year, but it was a 6-yard gain for the Cowboys.
That's an area of improvement that they wanted to improve on was their rushing attack. They only rushed for 91 yards in their opener against Furman, 2.3 yards a clip. Against Texas A&M last year, they had a tough time running the ball, but they want to try to establish the run. Vic Koenig, the head coach, told us point blank, we've got to attempt to establish the run, at least to keep them off balance so they don't come up and play pass every play.
And that being said, they're going back to the stack. 3 of the 4 receivers out there to Bramlett's left. He gives it back to Scott. He takes a helmet hit and pushes forward close to a first down. So a tough run there for Scott. Let's go back down to Rob Stone, who has an update on Michael De La Torre.
Yeah, actually not that bad. I know it looked pretty ugly, but they're saying it's a slight sprain to his MCL on his right knee. He will return. They're going to see how he does. Also, starting wideout Dwayne Goings for A&M had, as they like to call it, his bell rung. He's been sitting it out. He will get back in.
Just call me Dr. May. I told you it was a medial collateral injury just by looking at it.
Bramlett going over to McGuffey, who is blanketed and is unable to come up with it as Jay Brooks is all over his back. So De La Torre, very fortunate, Dr. May, because we should see him a little bit later. Here's another bullet pass.
He's open right here. Get him the football. Now he tries to make a move after the play to make something happen. Tight coverage on the play. Arms wrapped around him defensively. That's a smart play by big play Jay Brooks, but they want to shadow Ryan McGuffey. They know that he is the go-to man on the Wyoming offense. They want to make sure they always have a good cover man around him.
Brandon 3 of 8 for 45 yards so far as he goes out to Scotty Vines, who will get it for about a 4-yard gain. Sammy Davis coming up to make the stop.
And I like Sammy Davis. He's got a little something to him. Not very big, 6 foot, good cover man. He's a lockdown cornerback. Last week, 2 interceptions. But here, picture perfect. Bends the legs. He gets thrown down by the bigger man, but he's hanging on. Help me, guys. Help me. Where's my help coming from? I'm holding him up. Somebody get him. But it's a nice tackle. You stop the defender. Much bigger and stronger than you are. Good picture-perfect tackle. Went down, bent the knees, head up high, stuck the receiver in the chest, and held down for life.
And Sammy tells us that Humboldt, Texas, his hometown, is really a suburb of Houston. Says it's about 5 miles out. One of the great names of towns there is Bramlett is going to want to take a timeout.
Is that like Wyoming's a suburb of Denver?
I don't think people in Wyoming would want to know that. No timeout there. Actually, just the end of the first quarter. Cowboy fans are fired up because they are dead even after 1 quarter of play. They're tied with A&M. Back to ESPN2 College Football Thursday night, presented by Circuit City. Big 3rd and 5 now for Wyoming. Their first third down play of the evening. And Bramlett pressured, and he goes down. That's big play, Jay Brooks. Coming up and getting a huge sack.
Casey Bramlett has to read this. They came from the outside. They brought the safety, Jay Brooks, to the outside, but also on the inside. Here they're coming all over the place. He has to feel the pressure. The offensive line, there aren't enough blockers for the blitzers. And a quarterback, it is a number game. When you see the blitz coming, you throw that ball away. You don't try to outrun the defenders.
That's the first sack against Wyoming this year. Let's go back to Rob Stone.
Cowboys know all about Brooks. He blocked 4 punts last year. They are all converting to touchdowns. They spent a ton of time this week devising blocking schemes specifically on him. Let's see if they work.
And they want to keep their eye on him. Fine number 21 is the directive, as that bunt by Luke Donovan is short. Takes a little bit of a cowboy roll and will die around the 39-yard line. So Brooks coming up with yet another big play, and A&M gets it in good field position. Here's our ESPN game track. Nate Scott, the 4-yard touchdown run, culminating a 58-yard drive. It was 7-0 Wyoming, and then Joe Weber pulling in from 1 yard out ties the game up at 7 apiece. The time possession is a huge difference in the first quarter. A&M had it for 10 minutes and 12 seconds. Wyoming 2 minutes and 58 seconds.
And I think that all goes back to head coach Vic Koenig saying we have to try to run the ball, establish some kind of run presence so we don't have our defense on the field the entire game.
They are tied up with this first down. A&M takes over, and Michael De La Torre, the tight end, is back in for A&M. Hurt knee and all. Ferris gets it out to Bethel Johnson, and he goes up before he's pushed out of bounds around the 44. Let's go back to Chris Fowler, who's going to tell us about Rivers. What he's doing tonight, Chris.
Well, Philip Rivers, Pam, another big night against Indiana. Didn't have to rally him from behind as he did last year as a freshman. Pretty comfortable win for the Wolfpack. Rivers flips this one to Patterson, one of 3 touchdown passes. He's 22 of 33 for 243. A couple of late Hoosier touchdowns, 35-14.
Indiana scores at least to make it look a little bit more respectable, but NC State out to that 35-0 lead and bowling and burying Indiana in that game. Give it to Keith Joseph, and he goes up. Looks like he's a little bit short of the first down, about a gain of 4 before Herman White gets him.
Nice little lag draw by Texas A&M. Get the defense to come upfield. You hand it to your back with a step late. Try to get them to weave. Try to get your running back to weave through the defenders. Here you're going to see it. Offensive line, little quick hitter here. Here's the counter, which I love. And it's a delay handoff to the back, but you're pulling your guard and tackle from the right to the left. It's a misdirection play. I've run that play maybe once or twice a decade or so ago.
Yeah, successfully sometimes too.
Sometimes, but here's the key. The next time they run.
Boy, they talk about some hogs. I mean, it's amazing now the college kids are as big as you guys were when you played.
We were
way back in the day.
Piglets compared to these guys.
That's good enough for a first down. Ferris trying for Johnson, and it goes right through his hands. Bethel Johnson unable to get that in. Eric Lee was closing in fast on him. Seth McKinney is one of those big hogs up front. And just got to be a consensus pretty much an All-American, and he is adored by his offensive line coach, as you might imagine.
And you look at what he's been able to do in his career, and you know, he's the 5th center in 1A history to start all 4 years, and the way that he can get off the ball, that's what I like. Snaps the ball, can pull left or right. He can block a 3 technique, which is the outside eye of a guard on either side. He's quick enough to get there. Great pass protector, but he's smart enough. He calls out all the plays in the direction of plays for the line.
His brother plays guard for the Colts, and as A&M comes back and gets the first down. as that is Keith Joseph once again getting the carry. Leo Kairos finally making the stop, and more offensive line play contributing to a 13-yard gain.
Yeah, this is how smart offensive linemen are. There he is right there, blocks back. You pull your left guard, you pull your right, your left guard and your left tackle. It's another counter play. What the center does on a counter, he blocks back and pins back the defensive tackle, allowing the left guard to pull around and the tackle and tight end to get out. They go downfield, make their blocks. Richard Whitaker picks up the big yardage.
Simple as that, and it is a first down for A&M. Ferris working out of the shotgun a lot tonight, gives it right back to Joseph, and he goes down to the 30-yard line. And we talked a lot about the running back situation. Richard Whitaker starting for A&M, but now Joseph getting the lion's share of the carries. And this is a team that really hasn't decided on who their #1 guy is.
They're battling it out. Here's McKinney again. Here's a simple Ray block. It's a double team between the right guard and the center, and he goes off on the linebacker like he's supposed to go off on the linebacker and knocks back Herman White. Gets his block. That's a big plus for the big center. And his running back, Keith Joseph, appreciates it. He picks up big yardage on the play.
Herman White listed as 220, so Seth McKinney only outweighs him by 82 pounds.
Hey, if you strap the helmet on, it doesn't matter how big you are, you're on the field to play.
It helps when you're bigger. That time, Joseph not able to get much as he is met at the line by Jason Jones, the middle linebacker for Wyoming.
And for Wyoming, they're going to rely on their quickness. Jason Jones, the linebacker, is 217 pounds. They're going to try to confuse the line of Texas A&M. But here he does an outstanding job of getting past the first line of the offense into the offensive backfield and makes a heck of a tackle on the running back. And that's what they want, penetration.
And you see the rushing yards piling up for A&M. That was a good tackle there by Jason Jones, a senior for Wyoming. 3rd and 1. Ferris will throw it. He has Joseph wide open, gets it at the 10, and is just knocked out around the 1-yard line. Pete Merrill able to save the touchdown. Boy, that's a gutty call on 3rd and 1.
Well, it's a great call because what they do is they go with the full house backfield, double tight ends, no wide receivers on the outside. They put it back in motion here, and it confuses the defense because they think run. They see the tight ends, they see everybody on the line, they think run, and Keith Joseph just scoots right between them, gets behind the defenders, and makes a wide open catch. The defense got confused. They came up and played the run. Keith Joseph scoots through the defensive line, gets back there. He's wide open for the reception.
And Ferris was all smiles after that completion. Made it look really easy. The former shortstop in the Pirates organization slinging it well as they are now 1st and goal from the 1. A&M calling a timeout. Looks like they had 10 men on the field, so Ferris burns a timeout. They're close to going ahead against Wyoming. Texas A&M has it 1st and goal as Joseph goes in motion. And they give it and a stack up. Joe Weber is cut down short of the goal line.
Okay, they're not going to try to fool them in their jumbo formation. They got both tight ends in. The beef is in there right now. They're going to try to push the ball on the goal line, but a great job of selling out by the entire Wyoming defense, going over the top, going low, making sure that they're at least going to make Texas A&M earn this. They're going to try to stop them on every play, but for Texas A&M, they've got the beef. You go look right across that line, it's 300 pounds plus.
So just bull straight ahead. They're now 2nd and goal from around the 1. Ferris with another handoff, and it looks like Weber, touchdown. The linesman coming in with the late call, and he gives the touchdown to Weber.
And Pam, I picked up a key early. Whenever they go that full house backfield and they put the back in motion, which is Joseph, they run that direction. The first time they pass that direction when it's 3rd and 1 for the big play, but in the goal line situations, watch, here he is in motion, they're running. Last play, he went in motion to the left. They ran the ball to the left. Here's a little key. Good push by McKinney and company. What you do on a goal line situation, you lunge out and surge and move your legs, and you grab grass to try to get to the backside.
The extra point is no good as it scooches left by Skates. So Joe Weber gets his 2nd touchdown of the night, his 3rd of the season, but the extra point is awry. Texas A&M has scored the last 13 points of the game, but they only lead Wyoming by 6 thanks to that mixed extra point. Touchdown runs. Texas A&M has its first lead of the night, leading Wyoming 13-7 as Cody Skates just missed an extra point, kicks it off for A&M. Scotty Vines gets it about 4 yards deep, and he's going to run it out. A bad decision as Vines is enveloped around the 6-yard line. Scotty Vines, the junior, with a mistake there, and Wyoming will take over deep in their own territory. Coming up in October, check out Sidelines, a new weekly series from ESPN Original Entertainment. Sidelines goes behind the scenes to uncover the real people and stories that surround Texas A&M football at College Station. Follow their stories all season long. Sidelines on ESPN debuts Thursday night, October 4th at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. Stay tuned at halftime of this game. We'll have a little preview of Sidelines. And we're going to have to re-kick as a procedure penalty is called against Texas A&M. Boy, A&M had them pinned back, and Skate's going to have to kick off again.
And here's key. I can guarantee you one thing. Head coach of Wyoming, Vic Koning, is going to go to Scotty Vines and say, if that ball's 5 yards in the end zone, you kneel down. Don't touch it. Let it go. Whatever you do, don't bring it back out.
We had a little shot there on the sidelines of Koning saying a couple of things to Vines, and Vines is going to come back out and give it another shot. So that's a huge break for A&M. Their 6th penalty already in this game.
Those are just mistakes that just shoot yourself in the foot. Every coach wants to coach his positions and coaches to coach their positions and not make mistakes to hurt the football team. But hey, it's football. It's an aggressive game. Players want to make plays, and those things are going to happen.
Scotty Vines, who's a pretty good basketball player in his day, back again deep to field the kickoff, and this one just about in the same area, and you know what he's going to do. He's going to take a knee. As Scotty listening to Coach Koning, and Wyoming getting a 14-yard break on that penalty. They'll take it over from the 20. We're talking a little bit about Sidelines, that program that ESPN has, and the guys have been all over with Texas A&M all season long, and R.C. Slocum was talking about one of our crew guys on ESPN with inappropriate headwear.
I think he came in a felt cowboy hat, he said, and it was like 105 degrees out in Texas, and he goes, we don't wear those kind of hats this time of year.
Well, son, we got to get you one of those.
One with a hole in it.
Yeah, we need some of those hole hats with the whole team. That was hysterical. As a gain now up by Derek Arma as he picks up about 3. Jonte Buell coming up with the stop. It's hot down there in Texas. You don't want to wear it. That's they say in January and February you go with the felt. Other than that, you got to get the holes in the hat.
You got to go with the attire of the time of year and the part of the country that you're in. And unfortunately, none of us went with appropriate attire here in Wyoming because it is cold.
We are the ones to talk. the temperature has plummeted here, about 50 degrees at kickoff. There's a 3-yard gain for Armand. Bramlett with a nice play fake, looking to Scott, and it is picked off. Picked off by Sammy Davis, who just stepped right in front of Nate Scott, and he is pushed out. That's 2 interceptions now thrown by Casey Bramlett.
Sometimes when you go to the trick plays, they backfire in your face. And here's a play where you're throwing across the grain. It's a nice trick play. You get to the outside. Throw to the right, Casey Bramlett. Don't throw left because Sammy Davis is watching you in the ball, not the receiver. An outstanding job of Sammy Davis of playing the ball, playing the quarterback, making the interception, and getting the momentum swing back to Texas A&M. Smart play on defense. You look at the ball, you look at the quarterback when you're playing off like that, because if it's thrown all the way back across the field, you're going to have 2 steps on the ball that the quarterback thinks that you do.
Davis had 2 interceptions last week. He had 4 last year, and is off to a good start here, and he returns it down to the 21-yard line. And that is where Ferris takes over. He throws to his left. Bethel Johnson all alone catches it at the 18. And Lamar James tackles him. He gets down to around the 14-yard line. A 7-yard gain. In their win last week against Furman, had no turnovers, and that certainly helps out. We're seeing how much they hurt tonight.
Turnovers or momentum swings, and they just kill you. You got to protect the football. But on that last play, what impressed me about Mark Ferris, threw it like a baseball. Off his back foot, backpedaling, just slings it out there, sidearm. That's impressive.
His last play, he hit 273 with 6 home runs. Remember some of his teammates yesterday giving him some guff about that, about not being a great hitting guy, but doing a good job at quarterback for A&M. Throws quickly out to his right to Goins. He is met at the 10 and finally brought down. Eric Lee coming up with the initial pop.
There's one thing about these receivers from Texas, Bethel Johnson, Dwayne Goins, speed. Speed kills in this offense. Sooner or later, it's going to take its effect. On one side, you got Bethel Johnson, fast. 4.28 40. You think he's fast? Well, he's not the fastest guy on the team. On the other side, you got Dwayne Goins. He's a 4.26 40. So sooner or later, when you've got speed burners like that, it'll take its effect. You'll stretch the defense. You'll wear the defensive secondary down in their second half. That'll put so much pressure on the Wyoming defense. But so far in this game, Wyoming's done an outstanding job of containing those two receivers on the outside. They get a tackler to tangle their feet up, and then the rest of the pursuit catches up to him and knocks him down.
And a nice luxury for Ferris to have so many different choices to go to as they measure just a few inches short of the first down. We've called a lot of guys' names tonight. Johnson, Goins, Taylor, Porter, who is considered to probably have the best hands on this team. So
you like to spread it around, and here's a key. Last week, 9 different receivers touched the ball in this offense. And this Texas A&M offense, led by Dino Babers, they want to make sure that they get a lot of touches to everyone out there, and that confuses the defense because you don't know in certain situations where you can key on one receiver. You can't do that in this offense.
Texas A&M 3 of 5 on third downs tonight. They were 5 of 17 in their win over McNeese State last week as the officiating crew take a look at the third down conversions. Wyoming just the one shot, and they did not get it. The officiating crew very careful with those chains. And a third and short coming up for Mark Ferris.
And I think he's in a situation, it's dealer's choice. Quarterback keeper, third and a couple inches. Hand it to your big back, Joe Weber. He's a big, powerful fullback. You know, you can go for it on fourth down here. Here's a situation where you control and you can dictate to the defense.
3 wide receivers all to the left, and Ferris dictates himself by sneaking it over for the first down. Ferris last year had 116 yards rushing, which was the most for an A&M quarterback since good old Bucky Richardson back in 1993.
And he's out there laughing, yeah, having a good time. You want to know why? If I've got an All-American center and Seth McKinney in front of me, and it's a quarterback, I'm going to follow him too. There's no way I'm not going to pick up the first down.
McKinney is a good guy to have in front of him.
Here it is. Look at the push by the end of 3. The 2 guards and Seth McKinney. Billy Yates, left guard. Taylor Whitley, the right guard. Good push by the interior 3, and that picks up the first down.
That's the 11th first down of the night. Going up the middle is Joseph, and he carries some Cowboys down to around the 2. And Joseph showing some of his strength. The redshirt freshman from Houston, 6'2", 221.
And it's nothing but a power surge game. The offensive run in football is you get the big guys in front, chugging your feet, moving the defenders in front of you. But when you get Keith Joseph running like this, putting the shoulder down, look at big number 51 right there, Tyler Whitley, just pushing the defenders. Watch Seth McKinney driving the defender down the field to play. It's almost amazing on what they can do when they can take a 250, 300-pound body and move it.
2 tight ends there, opening the way for yet another touchdown for Texas A&M. The bodies unpiled, and that is Weber with his 3rd touchdown of the night.
And Pam, the old adage always comes true. A good big man beats a good little man and will wear him down sooner or later, and that's what's happening right here. The big physical offensive front and the power backs of Texas A&M are dominating the defensive front of the Wyoming Cowboys right here. Look at the power blocking. A hat on a hat, just push. Even at the end of the play, you've got offensive linemen pushing defenders down at the end of the play. Here they go in motion. I said follow the motion man. When Joseph goes in motion in short yardage and goal line, where do they run the ball? Wherever he goes in motion. So if you're the defensive coordinator, Matt Waller style, you've got to tell the rest of your that situation, when the man goes in motion, slant that direction.
So they are going to go for 2 now after Weber's 3rd touchdown. Remember, Skates missed the extra point on the 2nd touchdown. Ferris with 3 receivers to his right. That's going to be whistled down before he's able to get the play off. Seen a lot of procedure penalties against A&M tonight. And we'll see Ken Rivera's call.
Delayed game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Retry.
So Ferris lets the play clock wind down, and you go for 2 again as they get pushed back 5 more yards.
Absolutely, Pam. And here's the situation. That's not Mark Ferris's fault. That's the coach's fault on the sidelines, because if they're going to make a decision to go for 2, they've got to let the entire offense know so you don't have kickers and holders running out, players running out and off the field. That's not the quarterback's fault. That's the coaching staff on the side not getting that in quick enough.
4 receivers in this time, 2 to each side for Ferris. He looks right all the way. Looking in the back for Bethel Johnson, who gathers it in for the 2-point conversion. What a catch. He was really popped.
He got the conversion. But he ate some plastic by Matt Colts at the end of that play. He paid dearly for it. He earned his conversion point.
Matt Klotz coming up with the pop, but Texas A&M starting to roll a little bit now as they are dominating the time of possession and starting to dominate on the scoreboard. They lead it 21-7. Ferris finding Bethel Johnson. Joe Weber has all 3 touchdowns for the Aggies. After the 3rd touchdown by Joe Weber, deep in the end zone, Leonard Jones takes it, and Wyoming will take over from its own 20. More college football coming your way Saturday at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. One of the great stories so far, Fresno State taking on Wisconsin on ESPN. Fresno State's already taken out Colorado and Oregon State. And then on ESPN2, how about Western Michigan and Virginia Tech? Same time, Virginia Tech has to find a way to replace the great Lee Suggs, out for the season with that knee injury. College football Saturday on ESPN and ESPN2. For more information, ESPN.com is the place to go. So Wyoming scoring on its opening possession, but getting in trouble with a couple of interceptions from Bramlett as Armah takes it around the left side. It's a 9-yard gain for him. A lot of key games coming up this weekend. We already talked about Fresno State and Wisconsin. Notre Dame taking on Nebraska. Tough place to play in Lincoln.
It's going to be difficult for Notre Dame, but Nebraska has problems. 1, protecting their quarterback. 2, in their kicking game. So it's going to be interesting to see if Notre Dame in their first game of the season can put pressure on the Nebraska offense.
Michigan and Washington, lots of good games coming up. Many of them on ESPN and ABC. That's a first down for Nate Scott. Breaks free a little bit and gets it up close to the 40. Sammy Davis coming up with the stop, but not before Scott picked up 11 yards.
Sammy Davis comes up to make the tackle, gets knocked around a little bit, but I like what Wyoming's doing with the football. They're running the football. This is something they haven't had success with, but Sammy Davis gets peeled off by a wide receiver, goes and makes the tackle. Not very big or physical, but he's not afraid to stick his head in there. But Wyoming's offense, you got to run the ball to set up the pass, because Texas A&M is virtually taking away your passing game.
First and 10 from the 40. Bramlett gives it back to Armah, who finds a little daylight after getting stacked up at the line, and he goes down to the 44 of A&M. That's a 16-yard gain, and that running game is starting to come alive.
And what happened on the play, Texas A&M stopped on defense. A lot of defenders thought that they were offsides. So what they do, they held up on the play. Keep an eye right here. Look at this. They thought they were offsides. The rest of the defenders are watching. They think it's a flag, so they kind of give up and hold on the play. But the Wyoming Cowboys says, forget it. It's a free play. We're going to take it and run with the football. There's no flag thrown. And a nice job of running by Derek Armah. Running with the football, knees high, but holding onto that football, tight protecting it.
Armah, a sophomore from Lawnside, New Jersey, coming all the way to Wyoming to play football. As Scott gets away, breaks a tackle, and he is inside the 35-yard line. And interesting, Nate Scott in Wyoming, they're running the football, not panicking, down 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely. They've got their groove going on offenses now. They found their niche at this point, and they're going to stick with it. I think it's a smart play by offensive coordinator Rusty Burns, staying with something that works. But on the outside, check out your receivers out here blocking for the running attack. I like it. Going to find the defender and sticking your helmet on it. That's what makes the running game propel you down the field to play when you get the blocking on the outside. There's Rusty Burns, the offensive coordinator for Wyoming.
Rusty says, give it right back, keep it on the ground.
First by 45, Jarrett Morris.
Jarrett Morris coming up to make the stop on Scott. And Rusty Burns is the offensive coordinator here at Wyoming, his 2nd year in charge of the offense.
I like the old adage, you keep going to the well until it's dry. Once they stop it, then you go to something else.
In a big mess there in the middle of the field before the play is snapped on 3rd and 1.
I think it's a smart play. You go up there, you're set offensively. Hey, snap the ball. Don't worry about the defense. You get your guys set, snap the ball in a hurry, quarterback keep it. Keep an eye right here. The offense is going to get set. Let's snap the ball. Hey, we're ready. Texas A&M standing around waiting for guys to come in, snap the ball, let's go.
Boy, that was quick. It looks like Bramlett got through, almost it looked like he got through before the snap was made, which would be kind of impossible, but that's good enough for the first down for Bramlett, who now goes back in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers to his right. Scott in the backfield, that is the guy he goes to, and Scott is working hard, goes forward for a couple. And Nate Scott is a guy who did not play last week against Furman, just cleared to play. He had a concussion that he suffered in practice during the summer drills, and he's done a good job tonight.
And he's very talented. He's their Mr. Outside. He can run it inside, but they like Derek Armand to run between the tackles. They think Nate Scott's got the speed to get to the perimeter and make things happen. But I think here's the situation. They got to start using a little bit of play-action passes. They've got no back in the backfield in second half.
Armand has replaced Scott at the running back position, but he is out in the receiver spot in the left slot. Flag is down. Bramlett takes it to Malcolm Floyd, who takes it up close to another first down, but remember, there was a flag.
For Malcolm Floyd, he's a receiver they need to get involved in the offense. 6'6", very powerful, very big on the outside. Here he is. He plants to the outside, turns back to the inside, bobbles the ball a little bit, but then pulls it down and tries to make something happen, picks up extra yardage. And as big as he is, throw him the ball, let him jump for it. You've got two big guys on the right side, and Scotty Vines and Malcolm Floyd.
They love Floyd's speed at 6'6" and 201. That penalty called against A&M. And the Mountain West officiating crew, Ken Rivera, is the referee.
I think R.C. Slocum kind of told his players earlier today, Pam, that when we left Texas, it was 106. It's 90 in Wyoming. It's not going to be cold up there, guys. It's going to be warm. They took the field today. I saw some of the players down there warming up, looking at each other, and you saw the big eyes saying, it's a little bit colder than we thought it would be.
And you never know here in this part of the country. It could literally be 80 degrees one day and then drop down. There was an offsides, by the way, lining up offsides. And what do you think about these guys, Mark? We're up here shivering, and these guys have, maybe they say to cover your head when you're cold, and maybe that's doing the trick.
I don't think that big felt hat thing's going to work for me. And the other thing is, I just hope that those guys aren't going to be operating on me in about 10 years from now.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
And again, confirming the offsides is Ken Rivera, so it's now 3rd and 1 for Wyoming.
I like what offensive coordinator Rusty Burns has been doing. The play selection, go with the run. 7 runs, 1 pass. If you're having success with it, go with it until the defense stops it. Now I think here's a situation where you can play action pass because you're getting the defensive linebackers stepping up to stop the run. Take advantage of it with your big wide receiver, Malcolm Floyd, 6'6", and your jumper, Scotty Vines, at 6'3". And don't forget about Ryan McGuffey, the team captain, which is the best receiver on the field.
And it is, after they took the penalty, now 2nd and 3. Not 3rd and 1, so 2nd and 3 now for Wyoming. And we've not called McGuffey's name in a while. He got off to a rather quick start for the Cowboys. And he is one of 3 receivers to Bramlett's left. We'll give it to Armand, and he is wrestled down immediately by Ty Warren. The junior nose guard from Bryan, Texas, coming up with his 4th tackle of the night.
Ty Warren's just a man in the middle. 6'4", 295. And before the game started, I'm on the field and I'm watching them warm up, and I'm looking at these guys, and 295. I needed that scale when I was a player. He's got to be well over 300 pounds. And, you know, his uncle is Curtis Dickey, number 2 all-time rusher at Texas A&M. Players now, their relatives or their fathers played in college and collegiate ball, and some in the NFL that are going back and playing where their parents played their own lives.
Dickey also a pretty good sprinter in his day and played in the National Football League. 3rd and 5 after no gain on the last play. Bramlett looking left, goes to his right, plants it to Floyd, who gathers it in and goes in for the touchdown.
50 Bramlett. 30 yards for the score to Nelson Floyd.
Strike, Bramlett finding Malcolm Floyd. We just talked about this guy. They love what he did, picking up extra weight in the weight room, and that was a great play.
Keep an eye on the outside of Floyd. With his height, he's going to go down the field to play. But what it is your quarterback is going to make a quick hitter to get that ball out there. And what he does is he concentrates on the ball. That's a lot of mustard on the ball. Catches it with his fingertips, and then turns around and makes something happen. After the catch, he takes it into the end zone.
All the receivers talked about the mustard that he puts on it, and he flung that one in. Floyd gathered it in, and Wallum gets the extra point, and an impressive drive for Wyoming right when they needed it. They had seen Texas A&M scored 3 straight touchdowns, going mostly on the ground, culminating, though, with a 30-yard touchdown pass. Bramlett finds Malcolm Floyd, and the Cowboys are back in this game. They're only down 7 after a nice catch and grab by Floyd. Floyd caught 5 passes last week. He gets a big touchdown. Wyoming now has trimmed the lead to only 7. Wallen with a little squib kickoff is fielded by one of the up men. And he is down just around the 34-yard line. That was Marcus Jasmine. Let's go back to Chris Fowler. We're going to talk about what we're going to see at the half. Chris?
That's right, Pam. East Coast Night Owls, Rod Gilmore and Mike Gottfried will join me. We'll have highlights of Phillip Rivers' big night. Take you inside the Aggies' practices and meeting rooms. Fans will enjoy that. And preview another big challenge tomorrow night for another Mountain West team, UNLV, against the Big Ten co-favorites from Northwestern. All that coming up at halftime.
Thanks, Chris. Rod Gilmore can handle it. He's a California guy. He's used to being up this late.
Likes those late nights, particularly on those Saturday nights when we do the show.
Let's see how A&M responds now to Wyoming on that touchdown drive. Ferris gets it out to the left side, and the Cowboy defense is all over Texas A&M.
One more look at the touchdown. It is a slant pattern by Malcolm Floyd, breaking on the ball. It's almost tipped by Harold Robinson, but Sean Weston, the quarterback, plays the ball, not the receiver, and Malcolm Floyd catches the ball and takes it in for the touchdown.
Floyd's first touchdown of the season. Floyd, a sophomore from Sacramento. That was a big score as we head down to the 3-minute mark here in the second. That was Joe Weber who picked up 3 on first down. So Ferris outside, and that one is just a little bit too far in front of Dwayne Goins. And this Cowboy crowd is starting to raise a little bit more of a ruckus. Class started on Tuesday here in Laramie.
And that was something interesting I thought. When we were watching practice yesterday, we're listening to the coaches talk to the players. Now, I want you to go in tonight and study your playbook, spend a half an hour on it. And then tomorrow you get up and you go to class. And that really caught my ear because Texas A&M, they stayed in Cheyenne. They were kicking up, watching TV, watching Sports Center. And these guys were at school today going to class.
Have to do it. Cheyenne about 45 minutes away from Laramie where A&M stayed. Now 3rd and 7. Ferris goes to the right. He's got Bethel Johnson, and Johnson's got the first down. So big conversion there on 3rd. Jock Finn from Casper, Wyoming, making the stop.
Pretty job of execution on the offense. The entire offense from the offensive line to quarterback. Keep an eye on the wide receivers out to the right. They're cutting the defenders down. Good blocking on the outside for Bethel Johnson. Takes the ball, turns it up the field for positive yardage.
That was a 10-yard gain when they needed 7 for the first down, and they keep the drive going. First and 10 from the 46 to sort of 47. Goes with the handoff, and he gives it to Joseph, and another flag is down on the field. Seeing a lot of yellow laundry on the field, and that is going against A&M, a hold against the Aggies. So right after the first down, they're going to be pushed back.
And when we talked to head coach Vic Honan yesterday, he said that what we did in the offseason, we changed the attitude of this team. They were 1-10 last year. He said, forget about that stuff. We lost a lot of the players that he really didn't want on this football team, and he took the core players, and they concentrated on, we're going to have a winning attitude, not only on the field, but off the field. And that really carries over in life. And you know, when you talk to these young men at the University of Wyoming, you see the respect that they have for one another. Wide receivers for quarterbacks.
Offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
Their offensive linemen, they love their quarterback, Casey Bramlett. Everybody wants to do everything to sacrifice for one another. And that's what you need as a team. It's a team effort. It's a team game.
Meanwhile, R.C. Slocum not liking what his team is doing. That's 9 penalties for 60 yards, and that knocks him back 1st and 20. Ferris, plenty of time, finally gets knocked down, but not before he gets a big gain. As that is taken by Jamar Taylor, and Taylor gets it all the way down to the Wyoming 30. That's a 33-yard gain for the Aggies.
And we talked about the speed of the wide receivers on the outside. We forgot about Jamar Taylor, but this is a tremendous job by quarterback Mark Ferris, hanging in the pocket. He knows he's going to get nailed on this play, but he keeps his eyes on his receiver. He sees the defenders getting into his face, and that's Chad Bueller knocking him down. But the wide receiver, Jamar Taylor, now watch here. He goes into warp speed right now. Try to catch me as you can, picking up the extra yardage.
Taylor is a transfer from Notre Dame, never actually played for the Irish. He had a concussion in '99 and a knee injury when he was thrown from his bicycle on the Notre Dame campus. and now he's playing football at A&M. Over the middle to Porter on first down, and he gets down to around the 23-yard line. Leo Kyrus coming up to make the stop for Wyoming.
Pam, you said he got injured on his bicycle at Notre Dame?
A little bicycle accident.
I can guarantee you one thing. Their head coach, Bob Davies, probably took away the bicycles from every player after that. So I remember when I was in training camp once, we had little golf carts running around training camp. Well, two players ran into each other on a golf cart. Coach gets, that's it. No more golf carts. Took them away from everybody. And I played for the Redskins.
And he takes one little incident. Got to try to keep you guys healthy, especially if you don't have the sense to do it yourself.
That's true.
Ferris takes it out to the right side to Goins, and Goins is pushed out around the 12-yard line. Jacques Finn pushing him out. We saw Wyoming on their last drive going to the ground, A&M going on the air in their drive.
It's one thing when you've got speedy receivers on the offensive side of the ball, all you need is a quick pass and a long run. Short pass, 3 steps, turn around and dump it out to your wide receiver, Dwayne Goins, and let him do the rest with his speed, turn the ball upfield. That's one thing that's impressive about these wide receivers from Texas A&M. They turn their shoulders down the field to play.
Goins is a big play guy, averaged 25.7 yards per catch last year. Ferris has completed 8 of his last 9 passes. He has 5 receivers out there to choose from now. Going to his right, he chooses Taylor, who is popped around the 5-yard line. Dragged down by 3 Cowboys.
Ben, did you check out Mark Ferris on this pass? Now, this was a short stop, throwing the ball deep in the hole to first base. Takes the ball, goes back out, looks to his left, rolls to his right. Look at that. Throw it from the side. Get rid of the ball. Get it to the outside. That's a tremendous job of finding your receiver.
A little sidearm the way Cal Ripken throws it.
Absolutely.
He's 18 of 23 for 177 yards. 4 receivers going for Johnson deep in the end zone. Lee had a chance, but can't bring it in. Eric Lee, the senior, looks like he had an early Christmas gift there, and he wasn't able to bring it in. There are 27 seconds of play around from halftime. Coming up on the College Game Day halftime report, Chris Fowler and Night Owls Rod Gilmore and Mike Godfrey going to take a look back at Indiana and NC State, the Aggie access that ESPN has been granted, and an update on Northwestern as the Wildcats get ready to play their first football game of the season. So Ferris, fortunate not to be picked off there, gets a second life now on 3rd down. 3rd and 4. Pressure coming up the middle by Glenn, and that one is picked off. That is picked off by Lamar James.
And we're going to take another look at this. The reason why there's an interception, and you want to protect the ball in the red area, that's inside the 20-yard line. Don't cost your team. If it's not there, throw the football away. The quarterback was pressured on this play. Pressured by the bandit, Tim Glenn. Let me see, keep an eye on number 12 right there. He takes off, goes for the quarterback. The quarterback fakes the ball to the outside. He keeps his feet, still goes right up to the quarterback. Mark Ferris on the beeline, and Mark Ferris throws the ball in the interception to Lamar James. Here it is again. Tim Glenn does not go for the fake. He goes for the quarterback. That's smart football. When you've got a beat on your man, you go for the juggler. Tim Glenn did on that play. Turnover, Texas A&M.
A&M fans know that Ferris has turned the ball over in some very inopportune times. Did that quite a bit last year, including a late interception in the 4th quarter in the Independence Bowl. Mississippi State came back to win a very entertaining game in overtime, and that was a costly one. Eric Lee coming up with the interception in the end zone. Can you believe it? The Cowboys, just 1-10 last year, will go into the locker room only down by 7 at the half. A&M up 21-14. Joe Weber with those 3 touchdown runs, but Ferris making some mistakes, hurting A&M. They're only up by 7. Let's go to Chris Fowler.
All right, Pam and Mark, thank you very much. Ferris will get a talking to at halftime. And coming up on our all-access feature, you're going to see Mark Ferris in a quarterback meeting. You're going to see some behind-the-scenes stuff in the A&M program, and you'll enjoy that. Plus, highlights of NC State's emphatic opening statement against a very shaky Indiana team. That's straight ahead on boys 21-14. Now, you ever wonder what goes on in those meeting rooms after a game? What a coach says to a player, what a player fires right back at a coach? This behind-the-scenes look at Texas A&M program will give you a taste of the preparation, the build-up, and, of course, the fallout of the Aggies' opening game against McNeese State. Enjoy this all-access pass.
Brains and brawn, engineers, cowboys, cadets, and football. This is life at Texas A&M. Meet Mark Ferris, starting quarterback of the Aggies.
That's good, Mark. Good placement, Mark.
Mark is also a loving husband and father.
We're here.
Like extra batteries.
Again this year, the Aggies face a tough schedule. Notre Dame, Kansas State, Texas, and reigning national champs Oklahoma.
Your character is what you are when no one sees or no one's around. That's what your character really is.
But last Saturday, they faced 1AA McNeese State. Instead of dominating, A&M had to rally from 2 touchdowns behind to barely escape an embarrassing upset. Ferris took his lumps and got a mouthful from his quarterback coach the next day.
All right, starting off. Okay. First negative play was the Will Cobb. Okay, you didn't have your hips pointed downhill when you made that throw.
I missed that ball outside.
You didn't come anywhere close to him. You went right between
Get off
two.
his hand.
The flame.
He's supposed to work back outside. He did. The guy's coming from the inside.
I didn't see him stick his hand out.
Yeah. He said he thought I was throwing at somebody else. I wasn't trying to. You know when you run. You know.
I saw the whole picture. I know exactly what you're doing. You're trying to wait second window for that guy to decide if he's going to run past. But still, we can cut that inside guy and leave the furthest guy away from you. Okay. And that'll be a part of us from now on till you graduate or turn pro, whatever happens first. And you guys got me?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, on the interception for the second touchdown, I've got here, so you want to play quarterback, huh? 4-5 read for the touchdown. Question, why did you keep it?
I don't know. I shouldn't have, actually. Just being greedy.
Greedy? Being greedy?
I admit I shouldn't have. I knew I shouldn't have.
9 times out of 10, you'll be wrong.
Yeah, I know. And I figured...
This time, you were right.
Yeah.
So think about your percentages if you ever do it again.
But I know I shouldn't have kept it because I'm supposed to be trying to make a big play if I'm going to keep it.
You did make a big play.
Yeah, I know. But like you said, the next 9 times probably won't be.
I mean, I didn't play a perfect game, but that's how you get better. They'll never tell you do anything wrong. I guess you'd be perfect. Get out, you don't care about it. So they tell you something, you did something wrong. I was trying to get you better. You get better, the team gets better.
Grudgingly admitting a mistake, but getting after Dino Babers, his position coach. You can tell he's 26 years old a little bit.
He's going to have another meeting with Dino Babers. Dino Babers is going to say you're a hardhead. You know, he's trying to do too much. He almost had 2 passes picked off in that last drive. He did finally get an interception.
Well, you know, back in the day, an old school coach would have told him he was a hardhead, but I like the way Dino Babers showed you the example of a new age kind of coach who doesn't demean the player and just kind of works with him and tries to get him to see the light.
You can see a lot more maybe next Monday's meeting on a show called Sidelines, which premieres on October 4th, midnight Eastern, 11 Central Time, and 9 Pacific, inside the season of Texas A&M. And maybe they'll just make that quarterback meeting a regular feature if Ferris keeps making decisions like that.
Yesterday, you want to keep this close until the 4th quarter. You're 2/3 of the way there. What'd you tell your men in the locker room?
Well, as everybody saw, the worst enemy of our football team was us. We made too many mistakes offensively and defensively. We're probably fortunate that our defense has played well enough to kind of keep from scoring a lot. We've got to do what we've been coached to do.
Coach, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Texas A&M kicking it off to start this second half. Wyoming gets its hands on the football first. That is Scotty Vines, who takes it up to around the 25-yard line, and the brown-clad Cowboys will take over from there. Let's look at the statistics from the first half. And the time of possession decidedly in favor of A&M, but unfortunately, too, for them, the penalties, Mark.
And that's the killer right here, the 9 penalties for 62 yards. And you look at the numbers for Wyoming, they're not spectacular, but what they were able to do that I like late in the second quarter, to establish the run. Now they believe they can run the ball. This is a team that threw for 331 yards last week, and they didn't run the ball effectively. So now that they believe that they can run the ball against Texas A&M, that will set up some of their passing game.
And they take over, first down, low snap, but Bramlett handles it, and he gives it to Derek Armah, who goes forward for a couple of yards. Armah had 37 yards on 6 carries to lead the way in the first half. That's a 6.2 average, and that was so important. The Floyd touchdown catch culminating a drive where they mostly kept the ball on the ground, and even though they were down 2 touchdowns, they didn't panic, and it paid off.
And the other part of it, even though Texas A&M is winning the battle of the clock, at least the Wyoming Cowboys offense was able to give their defense a break on the sidelines late in the second quarter by laying the ball.
At least chewing up some of that clock. That's a Cowboy first down.
This will breed confidence on the offense. Going back to your big play guy, Ryan McGuffey. Finds an opening in the defense. A nice job by Casey Bramlett of floating out to the left. Here you've got the three receivers, and they're running crossing patterns to find the open hole. There he is on the outside, Ryan McGuffey. He finds the open out pattern. They find an open little hole there, and the quarterback, Casey Bramlett's able to deliver the ball on the money.
And just over the outreach fingertips of Jay Brooks. That was a 17-yard gain. Bramlett goes right back to McGuffey on the right side this time.
Man, this is amazing. In the first half, one reception, he got it early. In the second half, I think they went back inside and they said, hey, we're going to get the ball to our bread and butter guy. They're spreading the defenders out, covering them, mixing it up, trying to confuse the offense. Not only Ryan McGuffey, but also quarterback Casey Bramlett defensively. But here's the key. They went in halftime and said, we're going to find a way to get the ball to Ryan McGuffey, and they have.
Only one catch for 14 yards in the first half. They've gone to him twice now in the second half. That was a 4-yard gain. Second down carry for Nate Scott. Goes around left end before he is met big time by Terrence Keel. And Scott's up close to the first down marker.
Terrence Keel is nicknamed the hammer of the defensive secondary of Texas A&M. And that hit right there just showed you why. That was his 6th tackle of the evening.
The flag is down as we check out Ken Rivera's call. Oh, that hurts. Personal foul against the Cowboys after Scott had gotten them close to another first down.
And what's frustrating at this point, you're moving the ball offensively, and you get a personal foul penalty. Those are the things that drive coaches nuts. All right, listen to this. That'll rattle your feelings, Pam. I've had that happen to me in the past, and it's not fun.
Who hurt you the most? Who rattled you the most? Can you even remember?
Oh, a lot of guys. Lawrence Taylor, guys on my team, Charles Mann, Dexter Manley, Reggie White, you know. Hey, I sent a lot of guys to the Pro Bowl I played against.
And, of course, you were voted 3 times the dirtiest player in the National Football League.
And, you know, my hero, my idol, Conrad Dobler went to college at Wyoming.
Where else?
My man, when I saw the picture on the wall, I had to get down on the knee and bow.
The guy you patterned your football life after, huh?
Hey, if you're not as good as the athletes across from you, you have to find a way to cheat.
Dobler was one nasty guy, one of the great Cowboys in history. As Bramlett looks to his right, is forced to throw it towards Scott, who somehow got separation from Christian Rodriguez, and he brings it in. Rodriguez just slipped down. That's an 11-yard gain.
Some pressure laid on the play to the quarterback by Rocky Bernard, but what's great about this play, Texas A&M runs 3, drops 8 in his own coverage. Watch the time quarterback Casey Bramlett had. He looks over there. He's pumping the ball. He's looking. It's not there. Let's scramble out to the right. Little pressure late. Throws on the run. And because he's so big and strong-armed, he can throw the ball on the run and put it exactly where it has to be.
And he did a great job that time, combining with Scott for a first down. And he gives it to Derek Armah, and he is met right behind the line of scrimmage by Brian Gamble.
When I look at Vic Koning's offense, I think they're most successful when they get into that rhythmic offense where they don't waste their time like they do. They don't need to huddle. They just get around the quarterback, get to the line of scrimmage. Hey, let's get that 3-step drop pass. Let's make something happen. Short pass, long run, pick up first downs, move the football.
They didn't move at that time. There was a 2-yard loss to Armah, bringing up 2nd and 12. 4 receivers, 2 to the left and 2 to the right. Bramlett looking right all the way, floats it to Floyd. The big guy gets a hand on it, but can't bring it in part because Sean Weston interfered.
And it's about time that they went to this. This is a fade pattern. One-on-one. Wide receiver on the outside, Malcolm Floyd. Sean Weston, the defensive back. 5'9" versus 6'6". Throw it up for grabs. He couldn't get there, Sean Weston, so he had to commit a foul on the play. Here it is, another look at it. Right to the end zone. When you're 6'6" against 5'9", lay it out there, let him jump for it. Sean Weston could not defend on the play. He did the only thing he could do, is knock the arms down of Malcolm Floyd before the ball got there.
So Floyd, the sophomore from Sacramento,
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Drawing that 15-yard penalty, and yes, it is a first down for Wyoming. Their first drive here of the second half.
Pam, this is what you look like. This is what you look for. Mismatches. That's a complete mismatch. The Wyoming offense, look at this. 1996, they're third in the NCAA. Since then, they've done the backstroke. All the way down to 104th.
Not only the backstroke, but 104th you sink to the bottom of the pool. At 104th.
Forget about holding your breath.
It's over. It was last year, but they're looking good. Bramlett, though, is in trouble. Gamble has him by the ankle and finally brings him down. Gamble, the junior from Alto, Texas, hanging on for dear life, and Bramlett had nobody to go to.
Brian Gamble, the linebacker, comes on the blitz. That's a play the offensive line should pick up. Be aware, be awake. If you see the feet of a linebacker cheating up towards the line of scrimmage, smell a rat, because he's probably coming.
And the rat that time, Brian Gamble has a sack. Jay Brooks, the other sack for A&M. Now a 2nd and 12 for the Cowboys. Bramlett to Scott. He's met at the line of scrimmage and will go forward for a gain of a couple. Wyoming having a free fall in part because of all the injuries last year, and the rankings dropped in a lot of ways in the year 2000. Total offense also in the hundreds. Scoring defense 106, 7th in passing after a good start. Rusty Burns and company doing a good start against Furman and looking pretty sharp against this wrecking crew defense tonight. Bramlett over the middle, just a little bit too high for Leonard Jones.
I like that shot. That's a good play to throw. And what Rusty Burns does is he lets the defense know we're going to take a shot of throwing the ball in the middle of the field. Quick passes in the middle. They've been going sideline to sideline on the outside. And right there, he's just scratching his head saying, we had it. We had the right play called. All we had to do is just take a little bit off the pass. We have a first down.
Jones is one of the little guys, only 5'9", a sophomore from Denver. So Cody, that's Jarvis Wallen now who comes out.
And keep an eye on the snap and the hold. They mucked 3 of them last week. The snap was not on the money last week 3 times.
This is a 52-yarder, and Wallen gets it up and had plenty of distance. Wallen, the special teams player of the week last week, hitting 4 or 5 field goals against Furman, knocks it through from 42, or from 52. Wyoming only down 21-17 after Wallop's that field goal. It's 21-17 A&M.
Well, Pam, it's one of those good news, bad news things for the Cowboys. Starting free safety Al Rich, you see him right now, will not return in the game, having problems with his right knee. The good news is no structural damage to either of his ligaments. And if you look at him right now, the guy's been moving up and down the sidelines the entire second half, cheering on his troops. So if that's an indication, he should be all right for next week.
They play Kansas next week, Rob. And boy, Al Rich, such a leader on this football team, did not play in last year's A&M game because he was hurt in the very first game against Auburn. Down 4. Ferris right to the air, and that is not close. Terrence Murphy, the freshman who had 4 catches last week and a touchdown, was in the general vicinity.
Mark Ferris was pressured on that play by the outside bandit, Tim Glenn, right at the end of the play. But here's the key. The emotion's taken over right now for Wyoming. They're playing at another level, and they're putting pressure on Texas A&M. Who's going to take the step to rise to the occasion next? Will it be Texas A&M or Wyoming? Right now, Wyoming has all the emotion. They're flying all over the football field.
And this is a team that just wanted to keep it close, and they have done just that. 2nd and 10 now for Ferris. Gets it off to his deep back. That's a big hole for Keith Joseph, and he has the first down and a whole lot more before Lamar James drags him down from behind. That's a 27-yard gain.
And all this is a simple dive play behind Billy Yates, the left guard, Seth McKinney, the outstanding center, and what they do is they lock up on the defenders. Keep an eye right here. This is where you're going to see where your bread is buttered. Put a hat on a hat, keep your feet moving, and let the back do the rest. The backside cutoffs were there. Your running back, Keith Joseph, sees the aisle to go through. He does that. Now he makes his move down the field to play.
27 yards, by far the longest rush of the night for Texas A&M. Perhaps Keith Joseph taking the driver's seat a little bit as to who should indeed be the #1 back for A&M. They go right back to him, and he is dragged down from behind by Herman White.
the Wyoming Cowboys, we talked to defensive coordinator Matt Wallerstedt, we talked to head coach Vic Conan, we said, they told us, hey, we're going to change it up. We're going to blitz from different angles. We're going to show them formations they've never seen defensively. We're going to come with corner cats and safeties. And that's what they did earlier in the game, Pam. But the last 6 or 7 plays defensively, they played fairly vanilla. And they said they didn't want to get caught in that situation because that's when they had problems in their opener against Vernon.
Wallerstedt was talking about feast or famine, and so far they're feasting with what they're doing, keeping it close. Third time in a row, give it right back to Joseph. Where to go? Stop for no gain on second down. And this Wyoming defense and Leo Kairos, they were talking about it. This is a defense that just wants to swarm to the football, and that's exactly what they did on that play.
What a nice job by the defenders of the Wyoming Cowboys of playing the keyboard. Josh Rollins down the keyboard with Leo Kairos. And this is the key. Play your defender. Make sure you put your hand in the face offensively if you're a defense. But here's the Texas A&M running attack. You've got your leader in Keith Joseph, 65 yards. Richard Whitaker right behind him. They don't have that go-to guy that they're looking for yet that they can hang their hand on.
So on 3rd and 7, Ferris will go to the air. It's a little shovel pass, and he goes right back to Joseph, who picks up the first down. Maybe there's your bread and butter, guys. He's starting to assert himself here in the second half. That was an 8-yard gain.
Him, I like him. 6'2", 221 at the running back position. Led the team in rushing last week. And he had 10 rushes last week for 60 yards. And Richard Whitaker had 4 rushes for 0 yards last week. And all of a sudden, coming in the game, he doesn't get the start. So maybe now that was a motivation factor for him to really get his thing going in the right direction and take the bull by the horns and earn the starting position. And he's run the ball very hard this evening.
You have to remember, he is only a redshirt freshman. Is Keith Joseph. First down from the 42 of Wyoming. Ferris looking left all the way, forced to go right, maybe left again. He's got Bethel Johnson and just threw it away, which was a wise play because there were a couple of brown jerseys over there, Lee and Finn among them.
This is one of those plays where the defenders of the Wyoming Cowboys took away everything Mark Ferris wanted to do. He wanted to throw the ball to the left. No, not there. Run to the right. Let's throw it to the right. No, nothing there. Let's turn around. Hey, throw it to the sidelines. Maybe we'll get lucky. No, we didn't get lucky. I threw it over my wide receiver's head. It's a nice job defensively by the Cowboys.
It certainly was. Ferris had nowhere to go. You take a look at his numbers. That one interception, very costly, as Lamar James intercepted it in the end zone late in the second quarter. 2nd and 10, 4 receivers in for Ferris. A lot of time, and finally he gets it out to Joseph, his underneath guy, and Joseph is tripped up by Deshaun Abram after a short gain.
Now that's a heck of a tackle by Deshaun Abrams in the open field, but what happens is they only rush 3. That's why the quarterback, Mark Ferris, had time to look down the field at 2nd and 3rd wide receivers. But look at the defensive coverage. They got the 3 deep right here. But watch them when they fall back in their zones in the middle. I know it looked a little ugly on that diagram, but keep an eye on what they do defensively. They drop back in the zone area. There's no place to throw the ball. An outstanding job of coverage of not giving up a hole or a lane to throw the football in.
And they've done that now for 2 straight plays and doing it without Al Rich, who was on the sidelines for the rest of the game. Brings us to 3rd and 8. 3 receivers to the left. Ferris looks, gets hit, but not before he gets it off to Taylor, and Jamar Taylor takes it in before he is tackled by Abram. Abram with a touchdown-saving tackle. That's a 33-yard gain.
You talk about standing tall in the pocket. That's what Mark Ferris, the quarterback, did. He felt the blitz coming, felt the heat coming, but he stood there, took his medicine, and got the ball to his wide receiver, Jamar Taylor. Watch the quarterback, Mark Ferris. He's looking down the field. He feels the heat from his right. He's going to stand in there, throw the ball right at the last second, and complete the ball down the field to play. Look at the vision he has. There's the hole. The receiver has to come back for the ball, Jamar Taylor, but look what he does after he makes the catch. That's what's impressive about these receivers from Texas. When they catch the ball, they don't fall on the ground. They turn and run with it.
Yards after catch so important, and Ferris showing that he is a tough guy. 1st and goal in the 8. Pitch it back to Joseph, and he is met head-on at the 5.
Hi, Mom.
There have been some hard hits so far in this game. As Matt Wallerstedt looks on, the defensive coordinator for Wyoming.
Let's listen to this hit. Each team out there wants it. They're sacrificing. This game means something to each player. One side of the ball, Texas A&M, they came in here mad because they felt they didn't play well last week against McNeese State. They thought that they should have gone out there and just beat this team up and down the field. They had to struggle to win. And on the other side of the ball, look at the Wyoming Cowboys. They were thoroughly embarrassed last year against Texas A&M, and they feel they've got something to prove.
Second and goal, Ferris. Fakes it to Joseph, keeps it himself, and that didn't work.
Pam, I hate to say this. That was ugly. He looked like he was running with high heels on in that play. He did not want to take that play, the ball down and run with it. He saw nothing but brown jerseys in front of him and said, whoops.
And Dino Babers is the offensive coordinator. His first year coming over from the University of Arizona. There's Dino, and he said, a combination of Arizona stuff and Purdue stuff. He was an assistant, a wide receivers coach at Purdue, and the wide receiver coach this year for A&M is Kevin Sumlin, who was at Purdue last year. That one didn't work. Maybe they don't want to call that anymore. Third and goal. 3 receivers to Ferris's left. That's where he's looking. Now he has to look right. Nobody's open, so he throws it away, and he does. Bethel Johnson, the only guy close, but once again, it's Cowboy coverage.
And I'll tell you what, Matt Wallerstedt, the defensive coordinator right there of the Wyoming Cowboys, has to be happy with the way his secondary's playing. Right now, he's yelling at his top 4 rushers, I want more of a push. Get to the quarterback. Pressure the quarterback. But the 7 defenders that dropped back in the secondary did a fabulous job of covering the receivers of the Texas A&M Aggies.
So Cody Skates is out to try a 24-yard field goal for A&M. As you see, he hit on 1 and 2, including a 44-yarder last week. He missed from 43. This one is no good. Remember, Skates missed an extra point earlier, and now he misses the close field goal.
And I wonder if the grass has something to do with this. This grass was not cut, Pam. It's about 2.5 inches high out there.
So for 24 outs, Skates can't connect. Wyoming is still in this game. Cowboys down 4.
ESPN2 College Football Thursday Night is brought to you by the first 1-calorie cola that tastes more like a regular. Pepsi One. This one's just right. And by Taco Bell.
Welcome back to War Memorial Stadium. We're 7,220 feet above sea level. It's not helping Cody Skates. But you're supposed to kick better in the thin air.
Kick longer and higher, but not as accurate.
He missed a 27-yarder. So A&M holding on to that 4-point lead as Wyoming takes over from its 20. Bramlett looking for 5. He catches it in full run and is all the way down inside the A&M 40.
Pam, this is exactly what I talked about before. They're setting up the run for the play-action pass. They finally go to the play-action pass. What it does, it gets the linebackers to step up. Look at the linebackers step up on the play-action pass for the run. It leaves your wide receiver outside one-on-one. He beats the defender, Sean Weston, again on the outside because he bit on the play-action fake to the run.
Casey Bramlett's 43-long pass. That is the longest of his career. First down inside the 30. They put it on the ground. Derek Armott plugs up for about 4.
But this is what's key. First down, pick up 4 or 5 yards. Then second down, you dictate to the defense. Play action pass, run the ball, pass the ball. You don't have to sit back and let the defense pin their ears back and come at you. Now all of a sudden you can tell the defense, this is what we're going to do. And I think that's the position Rusty Burns wants to be in. He wants to put his quarterback in a 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, 2nd and 4.
And they went with a no huddle this time. Gives it to Armah up the left side, and he is up. Looks like he is stopped just short of the first down by Jared Morris.
This is key, Pam. Here's the difference thus far. The players on the offensive front of the Wyoming Cowboys are coming off the ball. They want it at this point. They're beating on the defenders that are bigger than they are because they want it. It means something to him. They feel that they've got the opportunity now to make something happen and something big happen by moving the football down the field of play.
And here is a big play now, Mark. 3rd and 1. Wyoming 2 of 4 and 3rd downs. Give it to Nate Scott. He gets it easily and gets down to around the 17-yard line. They are busting open some holes.
They are. They're feeling it. Outstanding blocking by Rob Kellerman, the left guard. Here's a guy that played left tackle last week, was slotted in to be the starting right guard. He's their utility man. He does it all on the offensive line. He serves water at halftime, but what he does here, Excellent blocking. It's a deuce block in the middle. Move the nose guard back off the line of scrimmage. Come off and get the linebacker. Nice flow by the offensive line on that one.
Give it right back. Keep it on the ground. Wyoming, as Nate Scott is starting to do it, and on this entire drive, Mark, Wyoming has gone to a 2 tight end set. We've seen Colby Drube and Joe Anderson in there, so more guys up front.
And that's what they need to do. They need to start pounding the football. And this is almost like the bully situation. The little guy's beating the big guy around right now.
And now they're doing it quickly again, going with the no huddle and keeping it on the ground. It's Derek Armah picking up a couple.
This is why they're going to the quick huddle. They're going up to the football because you're at a high elevation. They're not letting Texas A&M catch their breath. They're not letting them get set defensively. Hey, no huddle. Let's call the play. Let's go up to the line and run it. If they're not set, too bad. We're going to run our plays.
Quentin Franz in at center, redshirt freshman from down the road in Fort Collins. He's in the middle of the line now for Wyoming. 3rd and 2, another big 3rd down for the Cowboys. 3 receivers in that stack formation to the right. Bramlett keeps it on the ground. Armah is bottled up soon after he touched the football. So Wyoming short of the 1st down. We wonder if we'll see Jarvis Wallum, and we will, as Bramlett and the rest of the offensive guys jog over.
And this is an opportunity where Casey Bramlett should have gone to the audible. Look at the right side. 1, 2, 3 wide receivers, 1, 2 defenders. Call an audible, throw the ball to the right.
26-yard field goal attempt coming up from Jarvis Wallum, who hit from 52 earlier in the 3rd quarter. Wallum gets it up, and that is right down the middle. So Jarvis Wallum out kicking Cody Skates, and we have ourselves a 1-point football game. Wyoming trailing Texas A&M by 1. They're fired up here in Laramie. Bryce Wallum has a couple of field goals. He also already has 3 touchbacks on his kickoffs. He's getting ready to do it again after hitting from 26. Terrence Murphy is back for Texas A&M, who I'm sure did not expect to only be leading by 1 this late in the game. Make it 4 touchbacks for Wallum. That time on the drive. Now, Wyoming only down by 1, but this could be very bad. Ryan McGuffey, their star sophomore receiver, at least he looks like his legs are okay. Going back into the locker room, our Rob Stone is going to check it out for us.
Absolutely. In a situation like that, if the player's being helped off the field or he's limping, you have a lot of concern. But their number 1 receiver, Ryan McGuffey, that's a concern definitely for the Wyoming Cowboys. But I think he's going to be back. I just have that feeling.
It looked like it, and I know the Wyoming fans hope so. Mark Ferris taking over 1st and 10 from the 20. Keep it on the ground. He gives it up to Richard Whitaker, who only gets a yard. Remember, last time A&M had the ball, they went 63 yards on 11 plays, a drive that took 5.5 minutes, Mark, and they came away with nada because Skates missed that field goal.
It's very demoralizing for an offense, particularly an offensive line. I used to hate it when I was a player. You're on the field, you're sweating, you're knocking guys around, you're driving the ball down 40, 50 yards, you're knocking 300-pounders around. You get a 185-pound kicker that comes on the field, one little kick, boom, he misses it. Where's the justice in that?
No justice at all. Ferris finds Taylor, and he gets up to around the 25. And here's McGuffey coming back. This is a nice sight.
And that'll definitely be an inspirational lift for the Wyoming Cowboys. But right now, we've got a defender down on the field to play for Wyoming.
So McGuffey comes back, but
Daniel Gibson.
Gibson is down. Gibson, a senior defensive tackle from Sacramento. Okay, everybody wondering about Ryan McGuffey. Rob Stone now has an update on him.
Well, guys, we talked to the coaching staff last week, and they told us, Ryan McGuffey kind of cramped up last week, so they went way out of their way to hydrate him this week. I think we all know where this is going, don't we? He went in the locker room to use the bathroom.
Thank you, Rob. That's very thorough reporting. We appreciate it.
I love it, Rob. You give us the great stuff.
Gibson is up. He is going to go to the sidelines. Texas A&M just 1 point up on Wyoming. We'll be back in Laramie. Waning away in Wyoming. 4 receivers now. Another 3rd down for A&M. 3rd and 5. Ferris finds his man over the middle. That's Dwayne Goins. Picks up a first down and a little bit more. It's a big third down play for A&M. Eric Lee coming up with a stop. It's a 13-yard gain.
And a quick hitter for Texas A&M. The Wyoming defense blitzed on the play, but a tremendous job by the offensive line of Texas A&M picking up the blitz, giving Mark Ferris time to read the play down the field to play, and at the end of the play, Bethel Johnson got some blocking to help him run with the football. That's what you need offensively. You get your quarterback to sit in the pocket, read the defense. That was a big play. 3rd and 5 plus. They had to make it near territory. Big play by the Texas A&M offense.
So they have the ball now on the 38, 1st and 10. Weber and Whitaker in the backfield. Give it to Whitaker. And he kind of makes something out of nothing. John Imoni coming down with the tackle after a 4-yard gain.
This Texas A&M offense, look at all the talent that they have, but a lot of it's young. The senior on the offense is the center, Seth McKinney. Every other position out there, sophomores, redshirt sophomores, Bethel Johnson's the other senior, but everybody else is an underclassman. And you look at this offense, they're already set up to go places in the future. You got a nice quarterback, and Mark Ferris, very mature, 26 years old. He's the ringleader out there of the bunch.
They lost a couple of wide receivers who were drafted in the NFL, Robert Ferguson and Chris Taylor. So they lost some experience there. Ferris has Johnson wide open. Glenn closes in, but not before he picks up another first down.
Now for the Wyoming defense, they're giving the receivers, Texas A&M, too much respect. When you give enough cushion and separation of 8 or 9 yards and you back up defensively, the offense is going to be smart. They're going to take what you give them. Throw the ball out there 5 yards, run it for another 6 yards after the catch. They can't sit back, being the Wyoming Cowboy defense, and give that much separation to these wide receivers of the Aggies.
Should be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Bethel Johnson, 6 catches for 50 yards, 3 receivers to Ferris's right on 1st down. And he is going to let the clock expire. They'll turn around the other way. 1st down from the Wyoming 45 when we come with the 1-point lead and the football. And keep it on the ground. Keith Joseph, who comes around the right side for a short gain. ESPN's game track so far. The story, Mark Ferris with that red zone interception. Lamar James coming up with it, and they are fired up. Matt Wallerstedt, the defensive coordinator, and Casey Wallum for hitting that 52-yard field goal. Jarvis Wallum, excuse me. And Texas A&M surprisingly finds itself with only a 1-point lead. Oh, Bethel Johnson fell down, so that pass falls incomplete. We talked about the long grass. It's getting a little late, maybe a little wet down there, and he just couldn't keep his footing.
Rain this afternoon, thunderstorms this afternoon on and off. And as deep as, look how deep this grass is, as thick as it is. They didn't cut it this way. And there's a reason for that, because of the speed of the Texas football team, Texas A&M football team. And when it gets wet and damp like that, it's hard to get your footing, because I'm sure Texas A&M didn't bring the long cleats, and the Wyoming Cowboys are wearing theirs.
This is ESPN 2 College Football Thursday night, presented by Circuit City. It has been a good one. Another 3rd down faced by Mark Ferris. He gets time, is closed in. Imoni got him, but not before he got it off to Greg Porter, who catches it for a 1st down.
You talk about standing tall. The quarterback was pressured by John Imoni at the end of the play, but you talk about a big league play by Mark Ferris. Quarterbacks are cold-blooded in situations where you're going to get pressured and nailed. Right here, he's telegraphed to his receiver, dialed in. He knows he's going to get nailed, but he keeps his eyes, keeps his composure down the field of play, completes the play to his wide receiver in the 1st down.
Josh Rollins, Damon Rourke, all there, as well as John Imoni, but that is indeed a 1st down for Texas A&M. Ferris gives it to Joseph, and he goes up for a 4-yard gain. Joseph now has 76 yards on 12 carries on the night, both of them career highs. Of course, he has not been around much. He's a redshirt freshman, had 60 yards last week.
But I like his size. Whenever you get a running back that can be your featured back at 6'2", 220 pounds plus, he's got under 4.5 speed along with everybody else on this Texas offense. Tremendous athlete. And he shows his athleticism when he gets in the open field.
Making a statement, trying to gain that, keep a hold on that number 1 spot. 2nd and 6. Pitch it back to Joseph. Gets a big hole. Tyler Gottschalk closes in quickly, but it's about a 4 or 5 yard gain for Joseph.
And what's interesting about the Wyoming defense, we talked to head coach Vic Koenig. He told us point blank, gee, I could kick myself. Texas A&M, they've got a nickname, the Wrecking Crew. You know, unifies the guys, brings them all together. I needed to come up with a nickname for our guys to bring them together. I know a little something about this. I was a hog with the Washington Redskins. We took great pride in that. And you circle the wagons when things get tough and things get close down at the end. That's what he was looking for. And I think he may have found something with his football team.
On third down, Joseph tripped down and is short. Coming into this, A&M had been 9 for 13 on third down. Very good percentage, but they come up short that, or at least they appear to. Joseph is saying he got a first down. But from there standing, he clearly is short of the first down marker. It looks like A&M's going to go for it.
Huge play, Pam, for both teams. Not only Texas A&M, but also Wyoming. They can hold them here. Whoever wins this battle gains the momentum for the rest of the football.
Sort of a jumbo package in here. A couple of tight ends, extra backs on fourth down.
Trying to draw him.
And a timeout is signaled on the sideline by Jamar Taylor. He went up to the line judge and now they finally blow it dead. Great job by the Cowboys. Kyrus is all fired up, the leader in the middle, because they did not bite on A&M's attempt to have them jump off sides.
Just smart football by the Wyoming Cowboys, keeping your composure, watching the ball, not watching the quarterback, and playing smart football. That is great football by the Wyoming defense.
I mentioned that Taylor had called timeout, but he was on the sideline and called it too late, so they get the delay. And now Cody Skates, who missed from 24, is going to try his luck from 43. And that one is no good. So the kicking game is failing Texas A&M tonight. Skates has missed an extra point, and now 2 field goals is still a 1-point game.
And his missed kicks are keeping the Wyoming Cowboys in the game. And all it is concentration. It takes 3 seconds to execute an extra point or a field goal. They got a good snap. They got good protection. It was a good hold. The ball was placed right, but your kicker, Cody Skates, just hit the ball wrong. He pushed it to the right, past the goalpost. That's all it takes. A foot more to the left, and it's in, and it's good. But it's concentration on what you do. And the sidelines are fired up. Vic Koenig and crew, they know that they're in this game. He wanted to keep this game close to the fourth quarter and take his chances. That's exactly where he is. And here's Cody Skates. He knows it. He can feel it. He knows that he was in a position to help his team, and he didn't come through.
He's only 1 of 4 for the season on field goals. Malcolm Floyd is the intended receiver, but Bramlett's pass falls harmlessly to the turf.
And Malcolm Floyd had a misstep on that play. When he went out for that route, he slipped a little bit on his route. Keep an eye on him. He makes his play inside right there. He gets pushed by the defender, Sammy Davis. Good hands by Davis, but that just threw him off the route. That's a smart play. Hey, he's 6'6". Take your chances. Put him over the middle. Match him up. It's a mismatch on any defender he's across from.
He's 6'6". Davis is 6 feet even. And that brings up a 2nd and 10 for the Cowboys, going with that stack on the right side again, including Ryan McGuffey. Lots of guys coming. Quick pass. As he's able to get it off to McGuffey, slits a tackle, and he goes forwards for about a 7-yard gain.
Texas A&M comes with a blitz. It's a quick pass by Casey Bramlett. Look at the outside, the stack. Boom, watch the blocking here. McGuffey turns around, catches the ball. He goes low to get it. He's a tall receiver, but watch it. Slaps the defender away. Get out of my way. Puts his shoulders down and bulls his way for the extra yardage. Here's another look at it. You like the trip to stack receivers, you get a block in the front. You go to the outside, Malcolm Floyd gets a block. Then all of a sudden, you get your receiver, Ryan McGuffey, slapping defenders away and pushing the ball down the field.
Scotty Vines with a particularly good block there. Wyoming 3 of 6 on third downs. Bramlett rolling. He has some space, but it closes up, and somehow he finds enough room to get the first down.
Now that's a quarterback stopping on a quarter and leaving 10 cents change. He didn't know if he wanted to run it or throw it. He got the defenders to roll with him outside in the pocket. pocket. He moved the pocket. Then all of a sudden he saw the defenders down the field take the bait. Here it is. He swipes off a defender. He sees a hole, makes his cut back towards the football, and picks up the first down. That's a heck of a play by the sophomore in his second start of his career.
Rocky Bernard was the guy who stopped dead in his tracks, and then Bramlett ran right by him to pick up the first down. Going over this time, he short hops it, though, to McGuffey.
If we can take another look at that, he wasn't set when he wanted to throw that ball. He threw that ball like a shotgun. Here's a big, strong quarterback. He wants them turn, throw the ball in a hurry, and plant. This ball's just thrown in the dirt, and Casey Bramlett knows it. He had exactly what he wanted. The quick little pass to the outside, he just throws it down in the dirt.
Coverage over there. Jay Brooks was there, but the pass never got to McGuffey.
To stack on the right, I go on the other side. I got my 6'6" receiver, Malcolm Floyd, one-on-one.
Instead they give it up to Allen, who gets a nice little hole. Good tackle by Jared Morris, or else he might have been off.
Nice job. That's a heck of a call by Rusty Burns, the offensive coordinator. Split them out. Get the defense fanned out across the field. There's nobody in here. Watch the blocking here. Now, this is a great job. Pass one off, push him to the side. Did you see Rob Kellerman? He took the first defender, threw him to the left, turned back to the right because he didn't have enough blockers, and picked up the second block on the field.
Well, there's a lot of green in front of Almont. He's picked up 74 yards so far. Picked up 6 there. It's 3rd and 4. 3 receivers again to the right. Floyd is split by himself to the left. Bramlett looking right all the way, and that pass is incomplete as he went for Brock Ralph.
And that was almost a reception. And I loved on the play from Brock Ralph the way that he used his body. He got his body between the ball and the defender. Watch him on the outside. He's got a plant come inside on the slant. Look at him turn his body back towards the football. If the ball's thrown in front, it's a reception. But quarterback Casey Bramlett gets nailed on the play by Ty Warren. He just drives him into the turf. But if the ball's out in front of him, at least another 6 inches, it's a reception.
But instead, it's incomplete. It's 4th and 4. Luke Donovan coming in for only his second punt of the night. He had a 35-yarder much earlier in the game. He floods that one. The roll will go down to a 22, and that is where Texas A&M will take over. A&M with the 1-point lead. Wyoming needs another defensive stop. And Rod Stone along with you. This has been a good football game. Wyoming only down by 1. Joseph goes around left end. Glenn gets a hand on him, and Eric Lee is there to push him out of bounds. More college football headed your way. Northwestern finally gets to play its first football game of the season. This one should be fun. It's at UNLV. Damian Anderson, always fun to watch. Over 2,000 rushing yards last season. Scored 23 touchdowns on the ground. The only unanimous all Big Ten pick last year. 8 Eastern on ESPN tomorrow. More quality ESPN college football. 5-yard gain for Joseph on first down. For Texas A&M. Doesn't have a lot to show for moving the ball here in the second half. We'll get into that in a second. Ferris with a little shovel pass, and that's Joseph again. Leo Kyrus coming up. We have him with 9 tackles, and Joseph is really starting to take over now.
And that's a well-designed play. You get the defense, they're pinning their ears back, they want to attack the quarterback, throw the little shovel pass in there, you let your running back just catch it in the middle of the field and take off to the races. That's a great play to call in this situation. Right now, Wyoming's playing on emotion on defense. Take advantage of it. If they think it's a passing down, they're going to rush the passer, run the draw, run the shovel pass, move the football.
Look at that, last 2 possessions, 22 plays, 118 yards, 2 missed field goals, 0 points to show for it for A&M. Ferris gives it this time to Richard Whitaker. Whitaker gets it past the 45-yard line for A&M as he gives King Joseph a rest.
And that could have been a big play. They ran the counter, pulled their left side of their offensive line, plus Joe Weber. Joe Weber got out in the open field. There's nobody to block. He stopped. Don't stop. Keep going. Find another color helmet and block it. You're going to block down here. You're going to pull all these guys here. Watch 28. There's nobody to block. Oh, who do I block? There's nobody here. Let's find somebody. But don't stop. Keep your head on a swivel and keep running.
Kyrus was one of the guys that he did not hit. Kyrus coming up with yet another tackle. Whitaker come right back to him, but he is sacked up right at the 45-yard line by Damon Rourke. A 3rd down coming up.
They run the same exact play they ran the last play. to the left this time. And this time, the Wyoming defense plays it, smells it out. They get penetration. Penetration kills any running play, particularly if you're going to pull linemen. If you can penetrate and get in the backfield, then you've got those big linemen trying to avoid you because you're in the way.
This is a big, big third down play. 3rd and 4 for A&M. 2 receivers to Ferris's left. Goes to his right. He has his tight end, De La Torre, wide open, and he gets the first down and gets into Wyoming territory.
Tremendous job by Michael De La Torre on this play. He takes Brandon Cassavan, blocks him. Great job of acting. Quarterback Mark Ferris fakes the ball to the left. Watch him. He's going to fake it here and roll back up. Watch it tight end. Great job of acting here. Pushes him upfield, then rolls it to the outside. No one's covering it. Well-designed play. Get your blocking. Make it look like you're blocking. Let him go. Now just sneak out to the flat. No one's around him to cover.
De La Torre only had 2 catches all of last year, had none last week, and that was a big 3rd down reception. Harris again looking downfield. He had Bethel Johnson to his left briefly. He's covered, and Speedy goes to Goins, who gets it down inside the 5, pushed out just short of the goal line. A 38-yard gain.
Talk about making something out of nothing. Mark Ferris, quick drop. He wants to throw the ball to the left. Nobody's there. Look at the defense. They've covered everybody to the left. It's frustrated the entire defense. So what does he do? He's chased out of the pocket, makes a big play, looks down the field to play, and completes the ball for a huge play for the Texas A&M offense.
Not just a huge play, but they have called it a touchdown. At first, the line judge was stepping at about the 6-inch line, but that has gone for an A&M touchdown. Huge play there. So now Skates, an adventurous Knight, comes in for the extra point. And that one is good. We'll take a look at the touchdown once again. We talked about it, Mark Ferris making something out of nothing. He connects with Goins, and he just gets into the end zone. The lead has been extended to 8. I saw him mark it at the 6-inch line. Was he?
For over a decade, Wings and More restaurants have been the Brazos Valley's choice for award-winning spicy buffalo wings made to order. Tender, mouth-watering baby back ribs, plus many more delicious menu selections. Daily lunch specials and party trays.
Some coffee down there yesterday. Kind of cute, the downtown area here.
Maybe I'm just not as tough as I used to be, but the people that live here don't wear jackets when it's cold.
This is nothing. This is springtime weather. That one is way out. Kicked out for the touchback by Skates. Let's take a look at another look at that touchdown that I don't think was a touchdown.
Well, as my wonderful partner, play-by-play Pam Ward, called this was not a touchdown. Keep an eye on your wide receiver right here. Dwayne Goins, watch his right foot. Boom, right there. He's out of bounds. Wonderful call, Pam. You were right on top of the money.
He appeared to be out right there at the 2, and then the line judge initially marked him out around the 6-inch line and then changed his mind and signaled touchdown.
That was a great call by you. You said he was out of bounds and it wasn't a touchdown. You were absolutely correct.
But according to the official score now, it was a touchdown, and it's a huge one because now it's an 8-point lead with under 7.5 left to go. With the handoff, not much going on for Scott, who's going to be knocked out of bounds. He'll lose a couple. Now we'll see how Wyoming does. This is a situation they weren't in a whole lot last year because they really weren't in a lot of close ball games in the 4th quarter, Mark.
No. And what they want to do, obviously, is to get first downs. They need some big plays. I liked it when they were successful with the ball. The play-action pass was a huge play for them. And the rhythmic passing, 3 steps, 5 steps, throw the ball. They need to get the ball in the hands of Malcolm Floyd. I love the mismatches. I've said it 10 times, and I'll continue to say it.
Bramlett with the pump. He's going to go long to McGuffey. It's covered by Keel, who knocks it down. So it looks like it was just a little bit underthrown, and Keel got there and got a couple hands on it.
And Casey Bramlett, the quarterback, underrated the speed of the defensive secondary. His wide receiver, Ryan McGuffey, was open. Nice little stutter step, run the pattern. He runs by the defender. If the ball's on time, it's there. But look at the speed of the safety. That's what you're supposed to do in Terrence Keel. Play the ball. You're covering deep. You've got the deep part of the field. You back up your cornerbacks. You don't let it happen, and that's what he does. He doesn't let it happen. And nice job by Ryan McGuffey. Come back to throw him down so he doesn't come for the interception.
Keel known somewhat as a hitter, but Jody was a pretty good cover guy on that play as well. So it's 3rd down and 11 now for Wyoming. Bramlett. Oh, Ralph can't bring it in as he throws it high. Ralph looking for a flag on Jonte Buell, but he won't get one.
Nice job defensively. They came with a blitz late. Quarterback Casey Bramlett had to get rid of the football, but his wide receiver, Brock Ralph, could not come down with the reception. Here it is. Nice protection, but here he sees the heat coming right at him, right in his mustache. Jay Brooks, big play Jay Brooks, is putting the heat on him. But a nice play on the outside by Jonte Buell, right with the receiver, stride for stride, not letting them get away from him.
Got him just in time now as Luke Donovan comes in to punt. That was the first 3 and out for Wyoming all game. And it came at a bad time. Donovan gets it off. It looks like Jay Brooks was offsides. A flag is down as that punt rolls inside the 45. We will check out the flag. Brooks, known for blocking punts, might have been a little over anxious that time.
237 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Take another look, and he's one of the stars on this defense. No, it's on Wyoming.
So the call will go against Wyoming.
Yeah, Jay Brooks was drawn offside.
Vic Koenig gets it. So after the penalty, Texas A&M declines it, and they will take the ball at their 44. So Wyoming, battling hard, down by 8, has been the workhorse out of the backfield. That's his 16th carry of the night, has 86 yards. Herman White coming in, closing in on the for defense. He now has 10 tackles. Here's our Coors Light storyline. Joe Weber has done a lot of work. In fact, 3 touchdown runs, all of them from 1 yard out. Mark Ferris, over 300 yards, but did have an interception in the end zone. And you see the numbers for Bramlett and Ryan McGuffey, just 4 catches for 42 yards. He had 10 catches for well over 100 last week. Little reverse coming up. That's Taylor who gets it from Joseph. And Taylor is met short of the 50-yard line by Lee. So a little trickery there for A&M with mixed results.
A little trickery on the reverse, but for Mark Ferris, this is a career high. Before that, his career best was 311 yards against Baylor. For him, it's a career evening. But what I didn't like on the play, the only thing he did wrong is on the reverse, get out of the way or throw a block. On that play, he got in the way, got out of the way, tried to throw a block, didn't hit anyone.
He also has a career high with 28 completions, 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side on 3rd and 5. And a shovel pass. This has worked all night long. It works again with Keith Joseph. And that's a play mark. It seems most of the time it doesn't seem to work, but it's working tonight big time for this A&M team.
And watch the defense. Right here, they're going for the quarterback. They're not going for the football. Watch the ball. You've got 2 guys coming in from the outside in and the quarterback can contain. Now, that's not the right defense. It's not a sound defense, particularly against that play. That's why Texas A&M was able to pick up huge chunks of yardage on that play the entire evening.
Finn is getting looked at right now. When we're finished, we'll take you to NFL Tonight, the best way to get ready for opening weekend, the NFL Tonight. Mark Malone and somebody named Mark Schlereth.
I broke him into the league. He should have been sending me checks the last couple of Super Bowls if he was in Denver.
All the guys we will go to when we are finished here in Laramie. Jason Jones coming up for the stop there. We mentioned Joseph doing so well on the ground. He also has caught 5 passes for 65 yards. So a great overall game for the redshirt freshman.
You know, he gets my vote. I mean, I talked about his size, his ability, but catching the ball out of the backfield, he can slam it in there in short yardage situations, and he's got the speed to make something happen in the open field. And I think that tonight he's had to show his head coach, R.C. Slocum, that he's earned the position to be the starting running back for the Texas A&M.
It would be tough to argue otherwise. 2nd down now. Ferris with a play action to Whitaker, looking for De La Torre, and he throws it into the ground. Pressure that time by Josh Rollins.
And what was different on this time when they ran the bootleg, they had pressure on the play, but they finally had somebody covering the tight end. He wasn't open in the flat. That's a good job of defensive execution by the Cowboys.
Ferris now well over 300 yards. He has 5 straight 200-yard passing games, just one off the A&M record set by Ed Hargett with 6 straight back in 1968.
I think the new trend now is to find a football player in high school that plays football and baseball, let him go to the minor leagues for 3 or 4 or 5 years and get seasoned and mature, bring him back, have him your starting quarterback, and just lead your team to victories.
Certainly worked for Wenke as the play clock is getting close. They get it off, and the pass is complete to Joe Weber, but he is dragged down well short of the first down. So with just over 4 minutes left, Wyoming poised to get the football back.
Nice play defensively by Wyoming, coming up and attacking. And here you go from baseball to football, right? Chris Wenke, 6 years. Now he's in Carolina. They're saying he's the next Roger Staubach at his age coming in. And Roger Staubach, when he was at Navy, was an older player, came to the NFL, the Cowboys. And they think that Wenke can do the same thing down with the Carolina Panthers. They like his maturity. They like his strong arm. He's won the starting position with the Carolina Panthers.
We'll play against the Vikings on Sunday. Texas A&M going for it on 4th and 7. They're 1 for 1 as Ferris takes the timeout. Remember, they sort of tried to go for 4th down again, but tried to draw Wyoming off sides. That didn't work. Ferris is going to take the timeout as he tries to hold on to the football. 3.5 minutes left. A&M up 8. As Cody Skates is going to come in and actually try a 52-yard field goal for A&M. At first they were going to go for it on 4th down, took the timeout, and now Skates, who has had a rough night, missing from 52 and 26, will go again from 52. And this one is again no good. Actually, he had missed from 24 and 43 earlier, missing that time from 52, still 0 for 3, but to correct those distances, 24, 43, and now 52, Mark.
What's going to be interesting in the future for this young kicker, Cody Skates, is how he reacts off of this week. Very demoralizing for a kicker to miss kicks like this in a game like this, and this could come down to his missed kicks and if they win or lose this football game. But how is he going to react after this game? Is he going to get his confidence back? They may need him at the end of the game, so his players and his head coach, R.C. Slocum, needs to rally around him, because right now they're treating him like he has a disease that's incurable. They don't want to say anything to him. The players don't want to rally around him. He is the player that is the loneliest man on the sidelines and on the bench at this point.
Matt Wallerstedt, though, is a happy man, the defensive coordinator for Wyoming, rejoicing as Bramlett gets it and completes it to McGuffey, who gets up close to a first down. Terrence Keel with the stop.
Wyoming needs to play offensively. They've got to go to their go-to guy. Obviously, their go-to guy is wide receiver Ryan McGuffey. Get the ball in his hands. No great mystery. We need a play. Go to your best players.
Clock keeps going because they were just short of the first down. No huddle again for Bramlett. 3 receivers to his right. Instead, he gives it to Nate Scott. He picks up the first down and is down into A&M territory. That's an 11-yard gain.
Mike Irvin, the center that moved to left guard, got away with a hold on that play. It's one of those plays where you had him by the jersey, you pulled it in tight, you let him go after the defender spun around, and you walked away with your hands in the air. But that's a nice job of execution on 2nd and short. Give it to your back, get some nice blocking up front by your offensive lineman, pick up the first down.
I don't think offensive linemen ever help.
Only when you get caught.
That is good enough for the first down. 3 wide receivers again to Bramlett's right. That's where he's looking. Guns it over the middle, and Floyd is unable to bring it in.
That's one area, Pam, where a young quarterback like Casey Bramlett has to know you don't have to put everything on that pass. Just get it to your receiver, pick up the first down. On that pass, he didn't have to fire that ball in there. When you throw a ball that hard, that's when you've got a defender on each side of you, and you have to put the ball in one specific place. But in a situation like that, take a little bit off it, let your receiver catch it, move on from there. It's got to let the adrenaline come down right now.
NFL Tonight is next. That was actually Leonard Jones who was unable to bring it in, not Floyd. 4 receivers, 2 to each side. And he is from behind by Gerard Penwright. Ball is loose. And a scramble for it, and Wyoming somehow was able to hang on to the football. Boy, Penwright came in and just bowled over Casey Bramlett. Rob Kellerman coming up with a huge fumble recovery.
And for Casey Bramlett, this is a learning experience. You don't turn your back from the blitz. Here it is right here. Penwright, he turns his back to the blitz, never sees him, comes from the blind side, gets nailed in the back and costs the football up.
So Penwright says one of his goals is to be the best linebacker that ever played for A&M. Showing it right there. That's the third sack of Bramlett. And now 3rd and 24. Bramlett rifles it this time for Brock, and that also is incomplete. So under 2 minutes to go, and Wyoming is going to have to go for it on 4th and a lot.
Rusty Burns, their offensive coordinator, has to come up with a big play that they haven't shown. For me, I go to Malcolm Floyd. I spread him out, 4 wide receivers. Take him one-on-one, get him the first down. Don't look for the touchdown. Make it a jump ball situation where only he can get the ball or the defense has to commit a penalty against him.
Okay, so officially it's 4th and 23. 3 wide receivers again to the right. This is the ball game now for Wyoming. Bramlett steps up. He's going to heave it long. He has Floyd down there, but throws it out of bounds. So he went to the right guy. And we see the offensive coordinator, Rusty Burns, showing his frustration.
And that's the case. Go for the first down. There's plenty of time left on the clock. You got some timeouts. Why do you have to try to get it all in one shot? Because it's your last shot if you don't get it.
So Bramlett heads over to the sideline. R.C. Slocum's team in good position now to go to 2-0.
Here's quarterback Casey Bramlett, gets great protection up front. Penwright's not even rushing the linebackers from Texas A&M until the very end, and just launches the ball, and it's almost on a wing and a prayer that he needs somebody to go up and get the ball. And here are the wide receivers down the field. Look at all the brown jerseys, but look at all the white jerseys of Texas A&M defending it. The ball's thrown too long and out of bounds.
Terrence Keel among those downfield. So right now on the 42-yard line of Wyoming, Mark Ferris and company just keep it on the ground, try to run the clock out. And you go to the guy you've gone to all night, Keith Joseph. Cowboys take a timeout. NFL Tonight is indeed coming up next with the 2 Marks, Malone and Schlereth. Mark still making his home down the road in Denver. We get to see him a lot in Bristol these days.
It's just that big fraternity of the NFL. I played against Mark Malone. I virtually brought Mark Schlereth into the league. He was a snot-nosed kid out of Alaska, comes to the Redskins, basically doesn't know what a 4-wheel drive automobile is, or that's all he knows because he's from Alaska, doesn't know what cars are. We brought him into the 20th century, much less the 21st century, and now he's a star on ESPN. Can you imagine? And he goes to Super Bowls in Denver. I just think he doesn't think the people that helped him get into the NFL and mature and babied him along his first year as a rookie where he could have been cut, but we kept him along because we saw the potential there. And now he's a big star in NFL Tonight, and can you believe? Not a thank you card.
Won't talk to you, I hear.
Hey, he dusted me off. The other day I saw him in the parking lot up at Bristol headquarters. Mark, what's happening, guy? He just turned away, nose in the air, walked away.
Yeah.
He's a big star now.
Yeah, he's an NFL Tonight guy. You did stay and watch the show here?
I'll watch Mark Malone.
After the Wyoming timeout, you see Seth McKinney getting all the stuff out of his face mask. The big guy only took 3.5 years to graduate. He's going to get his master's degree, Management Information Systems. He's a smart guy.
He's an offensive lineman.
He's a good football player, too. Little play action. Ferris is going to keep it himself, and he will get the first down. So Ferris earlier today not being very nifty with his feet. That time it worked well.
That's a nice job of misdirection. Faking the run to the left. Quarterback keeping the football. Here it is. Fakes the run to the left. Just rolls out. Gets great blocking up front. There's a nice push block right there. Go down. Go down. Get the first down and go down. That's a good play. A solid play by your quarterback, Mark Ferris, and your offensive coordinator, Dino Babers. Nice call. You just want to keep the ball on the ground. You want to burn up the clock and burn up the opposition's timeout and go home with a victory.
Down to a minute 15. And he does give it right Joseph, who continues to pile up the numbers as he gets close to 100 yards on the ground. He now has 99 after that 7-yard gain, trying to add on the fly mark. It's not working. Wyoming takes another timeout. We'll be back to Laramie. Laramie, Wyoming has played tough all night long, staying with this Texas A&M team, a team that outweighs them and was certainly heavily favored to win. Texas A&M has some key games coming up as they get into their Big 12 schedule, Oklahoma State, and then look at the ranked teams, Notre Dame, Kansas State, and Oklahoma. And that's a pretty good run there, Mark.
That is a tough road to hold in that situation when you've got the big dogs coming in, and it's back to back to back. They really don't get a breather in between.
Wyoming next week will be at Kansas, their second straight Big 12 opponent. Joseph now over 100 yards as he takes it inside the 20, and Wyoming with 1:03 left. And you see the players on the sidelines. And this is a team, they said they just wanted to be the most improved team in the country. That has been their motto. And from what we've seen tonight, they're off to a good start.
They have absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. 1-10 last year. They won their first game this year. They played a very quality team that was 7-5 last year in their own backyard. They were outmanned, outsized, but they played with a lot of heart, and that's exactly what their head coach, Vic Koenig, wanted to get out of his team.
Joseph gets cut down there. Joseph had 106 yards before that carry. -1, so we'll knock him down to 105. Lamar James coming up with the stop, and Wyoming takes its final timeout. Mark Ferris has thrown for 342 yards. Vic Koenig, I know coaches don't like to talk about moral victories, but this certainly has been one for the Cowboys, playing well, but running out of time.
You're at a stoplight.
Welcome in his 13th year, 6th winningest active head coach in terms of winning percentage, about to win his 111th game. Ferris takes a knee. They're 2-0 against the Cowboys this year, beating McNeese State last week, Wyoming this week. They got Oklahoma State next week. But you got to give all the credit in the world, Mark, to Vic Koenig's guys.
Absolutely. What he was able to do with this program, he rallied his team together. He's got an awful young football team, particularly on the offensive side of the board. And he's got his team to play as a team. That's what he wanted to do. On and off the field, they're winners, and I think they proved something to him and R.C. Slocum and Texas A&M tonight.
And he talks about that being winners in the classroom, in the community, and on the field. They're getting closer to it on the field. Ferris, 342 yards passing. Joseph, 105. Texas A&M wins it 28-20. Next on ESPN2, NFL Tonight. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. Good night from Laramie.
Just around the corner.